There's no place to escape to.
This is the last
podcast. On the left. That's when the cannibalism started.
What was that?
What an exciting day today's going to be.
Absolutely. One of the more exciting days of the week.
Because you know what? The one thing about 2020, we don't like aging our shows too much, but the one thing about 2020 is that it's been such a light year.
Yeah. Well, I think everyone's gained a lot of weight. It's been emotionally very tumultuous.
I'm literally going to roundhouse kick you from this chair.
You are?
But okay. This, it's been
round.
But that's why we thought I'm
about to kick me.
I'm about to go to a hospital. I'm going to hospitalize myself.
It's not a good place to be right now.
But because 2020 has been so light and fun and frivolous and just so easy, we thought we'd end it on one of the hardest stories we've ever told on the show.
Technically, this episode is going to come out on New Year's Day. So technically, we're starting 2021.
Happy 2021, everybody!
Don't say that yet.
2021.
Don't say that yet. We don't know what's going to happen in the next 12 hours. My eyes are on the back of my fucking head about next year.
All I know is nothing's going to go bad in 2021.
Fuck.
All right.
Oh, man, we had a whole tour. We had all this shit ready to go.
All right, welcome to the last podcast on the left. I am Ben with the always, I'm going to say, sniveling Henry Zabrowski. Sniveling Henry Zabrowski and Marcus Parks.
Hello.
So why is today's episode going to be so? I don't like that you use the word hard. But why is today's episode going to be so hard? Because
challenging. Challenging.
There's a good word. Thank you, author. Because we are on to Anthill Kids Part 3. We're going to continue the Roch Thériault Tale of Terror. Huh. The Roch Terrier Tale of Terror.
Get your fucking true crime shovels out because we're about to fucking get a lot of dirt all over our knees.
Yuck.
So when we last left Roch Thériault and the Anthill Kids, all of their children had been rightfully taken away due to the tireless efforts of social worker Georgia Brown. Yay. But there hadn't been enough hard evidence to charge either Roch Thériault or his wives with any sort of crime.
I tell you what, if you watch the movie Savage Messiah with Jean-Luc Picard playing him, his name is, I think it's just Luc Picard, but I can't say anything but Jean-Luc Picard.
Of course.
Because I was like, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, Patrick Stewart. And it's just some French guy. But according to that, the worst thing that the Anthill Kids ever did was take beans away from a child.
Well,
the entire movie takes place in child court, which honestly should have a child judge. Because that'd be cute to see the wig. Because it should be a jury of their peers, just 8-year-olds all just in the jury. That'd be kind of fun.
Although I believe there's a movie called Lord of the Flies where that occurred, and believe it or not, these kids are freaking brutal.
Pass the conch, fatty.
Yeah.
Give us the conch, fatty. That's from that movie.
You
it's
imagine a group of 8-year-olds sentencing you to God knows what.
They're
you
cruel.
got to put your head up your butt, and if you don't do it, you go to prison for life.
The way they describe Roch Thériault in the movie, it's like he was put in jail for being too free and cool in the forest.
Oh, okay.
And is this being free and cool in the forest?
Kind of a Peter Fonda type.
Yeah, we're about to get into a lot of being free and cool in the forest. It seems like, this movie had to have been Canadian, right?
Oh, yeah, very Canadian.
It seems like that the Canadians, they kind of seem to be split. I would say split like 70-30 on the side of Roch Thériault being a super cool and free guy hanging out in the woods.
Wow. All right.
It's the bush hair.
It could be.
Well, one of the most overlooked aspects of the Anthill Kids, it's lost amidst all the violence and abuse, is that Roch Thériault, just like Joseph Smith and Brigham Young, was a committed polygamist. Unlike many of those early Mormons, however, Roch Thériault was completely open about his preference for the practice and had written extensively about his experiences in his autobiography, The Moses Affair.
Marcus, you say he's a committed polygamist, but isn't it by definition uncommitted?
I don't know.
Because don't you have a series? Oh, I guess you have more commitment.
It's more
commitment. You have
more commitment, but then
Yeah.
you're also uncommitted because you have so many different women you're having sex with.
No, you're committed to all your different commitments.
We need child court to figure this out. We need
I say the plaintiff should give me a PS4.
I'm going to kill you, young Holden McNeely.
I was watching a documentary on polygamists to kind of get more into their head, and it's just weird to see that because that question comes up quite a bit. Just being like, well, you're ultra conservative. Isn't this super promiscuous to have sex with all of these women? And he's just like, no, can't you see? I married them. So it's legal. It's God legal.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Well, as it turned out, one of the 5,000 copies of the Moses Affair that were printed made its way into the hands of a senior Catholic official in Quebec named Antonio Fuoco, who had a special fascination with the practicalities of polygamy.
Schedules.
I wonder what it was. You're just a cuck? I get it.
After somehow finding Roch's address at Burnt River, Antonio began a correspondence, and eventually he mentioned that he also corresponded with another polygamist named Roy Potter, whom Roch might be interested in meeting.
Oh, don't do that.
Now, Roy Potter was a particularly tragic character all by himself. He was a committed Mormon polygamist with 3 wives who took his claim that polygamy was a human right all the way to the Supreme Court. Ironically, though, by the time the case made it to the Supreme Court, where the highest court in the land refused to hear it, 2 of Roy Potter's 3 wives had already left him, rendering the entire case moot.
That's sad, man. You get busted down to just one wife? You
That's
just
what
had 3,
happens.
now you got 1? That's sad.
Well, that's why you want to have 3. That's why the old farmers, they had a bunch of kids. 50% of them are going to die. So you want to have a bunch. Then you never live alone.
But even so, Roy Potter remained a polygamy enthusiast, an aspirational polygamist, if you will.
That is the saddest thing I have ever heard. Okay.
And he soon struck up a friendship with Roch Thériault after Antonio Fuoco made the connection.
How do they know that? What are you talking about? They bonded over their love of so much pussy.
Well, it's more than just so much pussy. It's about being daddy father to a bunch of children that you grow into wives. So they look at each other more like, I would say, you ever meet people that collect model trains?
Sure.
Or
Yeah.
make
Neil
tiny
Young, yeah.
towns.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
people who make tiny towns view themselves to be godlike. And they see this tiny town and they know at any point they could just smash it with their hands. They could take a big, huge galactic dump on top of this tiny town where the tiny town council people would come out and be like, it's God shit. It's God shit. And so I think that other polygamists see other god men, like people who want to be daddy father gods to other bunch of tiny women, and they're like, hey, buddy, hey, just do it.
Just do it. And that's what Nike says. Now I'm horrified of all these elderly women with a bunch of snow globes. In their minds, they're just holding Santa Claus captive, aren't they?
They're like little concentration camps.
Yeah, it's horrible, the snow globe.
Through Roy, Roch made friends with 2 men who would play a large part in amplifying the madness that ruled the last act in the Ant Hill Kids tragedy. The first new friend was a Mormon psychiatrist named Dr. Jess Grossbeck. See, even though Dr. Grossbeck wasn't a polygamist, he was obsessed with the practice, inspired by the fact that his great-grandfather had been a committed Mormon polygamist. Dr. Grossbeck was also fascinated with the concept of shamanism, the oldest form of healing, as he described it, and published 14 papers on the subject between 1974 and 1993. So, when Dr. Grossbeck heard about a burly, non-Mormon French-Canadian who practiced polygamy and also proclaimed himself a shamanistic healer, he jumped at the chance to meet the combined personification of his 2 pet interests.
His main drive in life was to just be fascinated, but essentially by the pain of other people like us. But he gave a speech. I think Marcus and I listened to some of the same speech where Dr. Grossbeck, he examined the Lafferty brothers. So if you don't remember, we covered the Lafferty brothers in the Mormon series, I think the last episode.
Part
and
6,
they were a tiny cult, right? There was like one of those LDS offshoots that they ended up killing a bunch of people around them. And Dr. Grossbeck is both a Jungian psychoanalyst and a Mormon. And so what he does is use scripture and Jungian philosophy to try to explain that the Laffertys, he's like, the reason why the Laffertys were completely insane was because there's no way that God would make one of the Laffertys the new God, because they already told that to other prophets. His prophecies don't line up with the old prophecies. So he was using prophecy of shit that doesn't matter anymore and was totally fake in order to say, oh, but you see, this is our fake shit.
Right.
That's new fake shit. That's not real, cool, good fake shit.
And of
like
course,
our old shit.
Of course, you can't trust the Lafferty brothers. They're always chuckling about something. You know what's so interesting? If you think about parallel universes, perhaps Grossbeck is just someone who sang a song about being a winner. Isn't that interesting? And Arbeck sang a song about being a loser.
Whoa.
And maybe there's a gross Ben out there and a gross Henry and a gross Marcus.
What?
Or are we the gross versions of the Ben? Is there a better Ben, a better Henry, and a better Marcus?
Broken? Because that doesn't make you mean Bizarro. There is a Bizarro world. That's a DC.
That's what I'm saying.
That's DC. That's actually copyright material.
I'm not doing any more copyright material.
He's not doing copyright. He's talking about Gross World, not Bizarro World. It's Gross World.
Gross World. There's got to be a gross Henry,
if I
gross
was
Ben.
if I was
you know what
a
you don't want to
gross
mean is a
lawyer-
gross Moby.
When Dr. Grossbeck and Roch Thériault met face to face, Roch gave the doctor a good old-fashioned sob story about how the Quebecois government had burned down his compound and taken away his 18 kids in a concerted campaign of persecution. Roch knew exactly what buttons to push. They persecuted me because I'm a Mormon. And Dr. Grossbeck, blinded to the obvious horrors of Roch Thériault by the possibility of a solid academic paper or perhaps even a book, he swallowed every single story Roch threw his way, which only encouraged Roch's worst impulses.
Him having a serious conversation with this like accredited psychiatrist kind of, to him, legitimized what he was doing. Every single time he told Dr. Grossbeck about how, like, oh, I had this vision, we were doing, and he'd be like, oh, that's fascinating. That reminds me of this book. And he would just go and he would, like, open up his book on shamanism and compare it to this old shit. And then he would, like, casually be like, yes, and that is why we have to have the group spankings, and we all have to go out in the cold, and I pull on the clit, and I make the clit longer. And he's like, oh, that is fascinating. Let us see. Oh, it's in this volume of the clit elongations of the Nigerian compounds. And he wasn't listening to the plot. He was only listening to the story.
Yeah.
The male psyche is very fragile. You look at General David Petraeus. The man survived multiple battles, never broke. As soon as a woman was like, I'm going to write down everything you say, he just started telling her every single government secret he knew.
He just wanted to see the boobies.
Just immediately was just like, you know, I think this woman is really smart. There's something about her that I like.
Truly, General Petraeus needed OnlyFans.
Yeah.
If OnlyFans would have saved this country if we had it 10 years ago.
Maybe.
Well, the person who didn't really connect with Roch, though, was polygamy enthusiast Roy Potter. Roch had been expecting a celebrity, seeing as how Roy had been on Phil Donahue and all. Like, this guy's been on TV.
Do not diss the classic Phil.
Love Donahue.
There was only two shows to be. It was Sally, Jesse, and Donahue. And if you got on one of those, that was bigger than The Tonight Show. That was The Tonight Show for freaks.
Yeah, especially for little people that have sex with Nazis.
Yes. Or the Klan has the Black Panther Party over for Christmas.
Yeah, that was cute.
But what Roch Thériault got with Roy Potter was some loser with only one wife. Then, when Roch and Roy were hanging out one day, Roch started talking shit about other prominent polygamists, like Ogden Kraut. Ogden Kraut only had 3 wives.
What a pussy.
And he said, that's a pitiful showing considering how I got 8. And finally, Roch challenged Potter to name one living person who had as many wives as he did. And Roy said, as a matter of fact, there is one. And he's got 9.
Whoa!
And the man with 9 wives was Alex Joseph. Now, by the time Roch Thériault heard about Alex Joseph, the excommunicated Mormon had already founded his own polygamist colony in Utah called Bigwater, which was actually more of a town than a compound. It had a population of 430.
And a town, and there were some people in that town that he wasn't fucking.
Well, interestingly, Alex Joseph had publicly left the Republican Party and became a libertarian in 1986.
Wasn't free enough.
And when he was reelected mayor of his own colony town, Alex Joseph, no shit, became the first libertarian mayor in United States history.
See, isn't that amazing? Isn't that something? The history that happens, you know.
But he created a full libertarianville.
Yeah.
Where they
Well,
all went out there and, like kids had guns and the cops had whips and no rules for the pool. That was a big thing. They said they took all those rules down. You can have diarrhea in the pool now.
Well, you're going to have a dirty pool at some point there. That's for sure.
That's what you asked for. That's free market.
I guess, it's difficult to get somebody to vote for you, but I guess if you're having sex with all of them, I guess you must have been doing a good job at it, I guess.
He was the Richard Branson of shit fuck Utah.
Oh my God.
Well, that's how he attracted a lot of people, is that like, this is a libertarian town. You don't got to pay town taxes here in Big Water. Don't worry about that. And there was some guys that was like, yeah, I just moved there. I keep my goats out of his yard and he keeps his goats out of my yard. And that's all I want.
That's how he wants. Everybody's goats got to stay in everybody's yard, but your daughter can just be at his house. You know what I mean?
Someone's got to fix the potholes, though.
So, that's what you got. But everybody was traded. And also the reason why he became mayor of Libertarianville was because he was the tallest, which is, I think, why you started as a libertarian, Kissel, because your highest view of life and how you think who's superior by belt loop size.
No, I just see how people mingle, and it gives me insight into the human way of living.
Yeah, you know who else sees people mingle? Seagulls. And I don't want a seagull to be president.
I'm going to shoot you.
Now, Alex Joseph seemed to be one of the last of the Old West outlaws. He was a former cop who skated past every charge thrown his way, from the time he was arrested for drug smuggling to the time he was arrested for stealing a helicopter.
Fucking, you should be free to do that in a libertarian America.
Well, I mean, still, that seems a little crazy.
In fact, he requested that the occupation on his death certificate be listed as pirate.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Honestly, cool though.
Yeah, man, he's gotta go down to he's gotta go back down to Tampa. They got that pirate festival every year at Gasparilla.
Hell yeah.
He did really well there.
Alex Joseph even made a movie about himself, starring himself and his wives. That movie was called Alex Joseph and His Wives.
Keep it simple.
Keep it libertarian, to the point.
And it carried the tagline, "Deep in the red desert of Utah lives a man named Alex. This is his story."
I can't support him, but I do.
Well, it's amazing he was able to make a movie. That's a very impressive feat.
Yeah, and he billed it as filmed on location where it happened.
No shit. You think you got a sound studio at Warner Brothers? On location is only cool if the location isn't in Utah.
Yeah, it is fucking. What's the place called? Like Bunkwater, Blip,
Big Water.
Big Water. The
On
biggest,
location,
the
here
whole
in Big
town
Water.
is just about how they have a big natural. It's a lake. They didn't even make the lake.
That's nice though.
Well, summed up, Alex Joseph was a far more impressive and interesting character than old one-wife Roy Potter.
Oh.
But when Roch Thériault first showed up in Alex's town of Big Water, Alex Joseph didn't really have time for this new French-Canadian visitor. But when one of Alex's sons showed up with bad burns as a result of an accident out at the garbage dump, Roch grabbed his ever-present black medical bag and applied ointment to the wounds, which got Roch on Alex's good side.
All right, Marcus, this is a question. I guess technically this is for you, Henry. I like to, I've been doing some sports betting. Over under 3, how many times has Marcus gotten in trouble or hurt playing at the trash dump? Over under 3, Marcus, obviously you have the answer.
I believe that Marcus has probably been close to seriously hurt at least 2 times at a dump.
At a dump, okay?
2 times.
Wow! Wow!
One time, I was shot at by an old lady because me and my buddy were in her dump and she didn't want us in her dump.
Never go in old lady's dump unless you have her permission.
When did the witch not make you a raccoon again? When did you get cursed into being a human?
And the other time, I slipped and fell on a big piece of jagged metal and got a scar on my chin that gashed my chin open, and the scar is still there to this day.
The dump's still with him.
All right, the dump stays with the boy.
That was the only 2 times that like something serious happened. There were a lot of little injuries, but we don't have time to go on all those.
I looked at Marcus and I saw those events.
You did it, buddy.
Through his pupils.
Yeah, you did it.
Now, Alex immediately realized Roch was out of his goddamn mind. But in Alex's words, Utah had all kinds of kooks. So he figured what the hell and invited Roch and his entourage to stay for a while.
It's a menagerie of different kinds of white craziness.
Yeah, it's just a whole circus of feet smell.
Now, Roch was not what you'd call a good guest, going on and on, about how much land he owned and how much money he had.
Well, then why are you staying with me? Oh, isn't that so funny? There's a hotel down the street.
Hotels are for fucks. I like to sleep in the dirt of another man's wives.
Get out of here.
To demonstrate his cash holdings and to show off his grossly large penis, Roch pulled down his pants, reached into his leopard print bikini briefs, and pulled out a wallet stuffed with $3,000.
Can you imagine being in a living room? You got a house guest. He smells. He's got a fucking huge beard. He's covered in ointment.
He's
giving everybody ointment. You walk in the room. He's just like, you want to see the power of my bank account, my friend? Yeah. And he takes off his silk robe, which first of all, you're like, I just wish you wear some hard clothes, dude. This isn't a pandemic. Just fucking, I need you to wear some hard clothes. He opens up the robe. He's got the little leopard print bikini with that big fucking awful lump in the front, like that big, it's like curled into a question mark. You know what I mean? He has to tuck it under his own balls.
Well, I know the answer.
And then he turns back around, and then it's just this lump in the back of his ass. It looks like a shit.
Is that a dump?
And then he roots it, and you're like, oh, God, don't pull shit out of my fucking living room. We just swept. And then he pulls out a big old fucking wallet covered in his French-Canadian crack grease.
You've been traveling with that $3,000 for a while?
That's all I do. I sit on it. It helps me sit upon my sit bones.
Well, at dinner, Roch was even more uncouth. When Alex let it slip that he was having trouble getting one of his wives pregnant, his wife Boudica, Roch launched into an explicit description of all the different sexual positions Alex could try for successful fertilization.
Tell me, Alex, have you ever tried the screaming water barrel?
Not sure what that one is.
Nah, well, maybe you should check it out. Tell me, have you ever tried the basement of the Chrysler building?
Really?
Yeah, why do I feel like happening there?
This is going to end with me getting a bunch of...
Hey, tell me, Alex, have you ever tried a sardine pizza? I just made it. Actually, no, it's a slice. It is not about sex. It's about lunch.
Oh, my.
I'm funny sometimes. I used to be.
I'm just so happy that you're here and not anywhere else.
But when the conversation turned to the subject of bickering amongst wives, Alex took it as his moment to push his own homemade belief system. Alex, like so many other excommunicated Mormons, had founded his own fundamentalist sect called the Confederate Nations of Israel, and taking inspiration from the original Mormons, had created his own set of membership rituals.
The Confederate Nation of what?
Israel.
What is that?
No, the Mormons were the original. They came from the original pack of Jewish people, like that left Jesus and they came to America. Remember? So,
and when did they get into Leonard Skinnard? Where's the Confederate? I'm just saying, like, what is it?
Oh, actually, 1977. Oh, and I think it was when it's Slippery When Wet. What was the other album that they did?
Pronounced Leonard Skinnard.
Yeah, I think it was pronounced Leonard Skinnard.
Second
That was
helping.
what really
You're
got
thinking of Second Helping. You're thinking of Second Helping. Yeah.
They weren't great at naming the albums. Okay.
Well, in the first phase of joining the Confederate Nations of Israel, the prospective member had to be baptized in nearby Lake Powell and promised to follow the teachings of Jesus Christ, who, according to Alex, had several wives and enjoyed each one immensely.
If Jesus was real, he should join he is amongst the rest of the gay icons of history, which is fucking Abraham Lincoln, Alexander the Great, and Tom Cruise. Because if he has fucked it all, he was fucking those 12 dudes in the desert that gave up everything, and then all he did was wash his dirty ass feet.
Well, you got to do that. And he also washed a lot of feet. You know what? It would be so funny to see just the idea of 12 cult leaders being forced to hang out with each other. I'm watching the frustration as none of them believe their peers' bullshit. And
but just like, my bullshit
it would be so
the best bullshit. No, that would be very interesting. It's probably like being a fucking studio test with a bunch of comedians and what that's like being in that room.
I never made it to the big boy table in the stand-up clubs because there's a lot of funny stuff happening.
A lot of zingers.
Yeah. Nothing's funnier than a comedian sitting down talking.
That's what we do.
I know.
Well, after being baptized, once the person joined the community, they were told to design their own flag as a symbol of their ancestral clan. Like Alex's blue and white ancestral flag that featured a key, a branch, a candelabra, and a buffalo.
It was cute.
It was cute.
Okay, yeah.
And after they got the flag, the polygamy could begin. When marrying a new wife, one must enter a formal contract. But unlike standard marriage contracts, these did not end when one or both of the signers died. These were in the Mormon style, meaning the contract lasted for all eternity. In fact, dead ancestors could, and in Alex's view, should be married to each other to make sure everything was nice and organized.
All I know is if I go to a restaurant and they're like, chicken wings, do you want them Nashville or Mormon style? I'm going Nashville.
Yeah. Anything that's Mormon style. Just plain?
I guess so, yeah.
Alex himself had actually performed dozens of marriage ceremonies for all of his direct ancestors going back 900 years, all the way to the times of William the Conqueror. But getting your family organized was just the final step toward the ultimate goal. Once everything and everyone was in order, you were eligible to take on the highest responsibility in the program.
Yay!
You could be your very own ordained king, anointed by a real religious authority.
You have no idea how hard this has been for me to be the king of my town.
It's a lot of pressure being king of the town. But Alex Joseph it's interesting because the Mormon view, because I was listening to Grossbeck talk about his concept of blood atonement. If you remember from the Mormonism series, blood atonement was this idea that certain people have to be murdered because God, the shedding of Jesus's blood isn't enough for them to be forgiven of their sins.
That's right. God, he has that catchphrase, more blood. More blood. More blood.
But it is interesting how the way they retroacted after Brigham Young, all the fucking horrible shit that he did, when he was really leaning on blood atonement, they had to make it legit. So eventually they said, well, the Mormon church has to align with the government in order for us to properly do blood atonement. Like, we have to have a Mormon state official kill someone in the name of blood atonement for someone who is guilty of a crime in court. Like, so they try, but since we have the separation of church and state, apparently, maybe, sort of in America, that can't happen. That's never happened. But what Alex Joseph is doing is setting this shit up where, like, not only am I a theoretical and philosophical and religious king of this little group, but I'm also mayor of the town. So he is doing actually, which is the true Mormon ideal, which is the blending of the two. Like Joseph Smith wanting to be president. They know they want real governmental, tangible power.
God respects a badge. God has always said that. I might be God, but you, sir, have a badge. And I'll do anything you say.
Yeah, I don't know how Alex Joseph reconciled the idea of being a king with his libertarian beliefs.
Yeah, I don't know.
Every libertarian's a king of their own kingdom.
No, but I thought that you were like willful president of yourself. I thought that libertarians weren't even in charge of themselves, that they had no boss.
No, well, you are your own boss.
Yeah, but also fuck all bosses.
Well, you can't.
So fuck me. Well, you gonna tell me what to do, me?
No,
fuck you. I'm on vacation. Fuck you. Oh, me. I'm going to work. Oh, well, fuck you. You can't fire me. I quit.
I feel like my Politicon again. Well, you just got to ration. You got to put a reasonable cap on there.
And so, with all these ideas of life, death, marriage, shamanism, and kingship swirling around in his head, Roch Thériault returned to Burnt River, where things were about to get 1,000 times worse for the Anthill kids. However, Roch Thériault did not act kingly at all times. To his neighbors, he was nothing more than a fat, drunken weirdo who lived out in the woods with a concubine of 8 women. And the cult's behavior in public only solidified that image.
They didn't see his crown.
In the summer of 1988, Roch, Jacques, Claude, and Solange drove to a local tavern to pick a fight with the owner, Jay Lapatina.
Honestly, who's not getting in that car? Get in, we're going to go pick a fight with the owner of the bar that we got too hammered at last night.
Hell yeah, let's get drunk first.
Yeah, let's do it.
Apparently, Lapatina had hired 3 of Roch's wives to do some pickup work at the bar, but hadn't paid them yet. Really, what was happening is that Lapatina just wasn't around that day to pay them out. But Roch took this as an affront, so he loaded up his crew and set out to get the money by whatever means necessary. When Roch showed up at the bar, he blocked the exit and pulled out a buck knife, refusing to let anyone out until he got his money. When the cops were called, they were told that 4, quote, Charles Manson types were causing trouble, and things were bound to turn violent. Now, when the cops showed up, all they did was hustle Roch back out to his truck and just said, go home.
Go home.
But Roch, unsatisfied with this outcome, drove instead to Jay Lapatina's house to get the money he felt he was owed.
Why do so many people try negotiating with this man? Why do they keep trying to reasonably approach? You already called him a Charles Manson type. Charles Manson, of all the things he is definitely a bad negotiator. He's also not a person because of his...
He got him doom buggies.
He got doom buggies.
He got doom buggies. That's what they wanted.
They were there. The doom buggies were there.
But he still got them.
He didn't source them.
No. I mean, just look at how he was in the studio when they said, like, hey, Charles, these are great demos. Like, we should go into that. We should go record an album. Like, no, this is the album. I ain't recording no demos. You can't tell me how to do a song. And then he pulled a knife on Brian Wilson, and it all fucking over.
That's a fucking
Do you
rant. There's
tell
a
the
give and
sun
take.
when to rise? Do you tell it when to go to sleep? No.
Yeah, I do that with the sleeping mask and pills.
No, all right.
When they got there to Jay Lapatina's house, Roch, Claude, and Jock jumped out and headed for the front door. But luckily, the cops had anticipated this scenario. 2 cops named Quigley and Simpkins wrestled Claude and Jock down to the ground while 2 others chased after Roch, who somehow made it inside Jay Lapatina's home, where he wrapped his legs around a pool table and refused to let go.
This is a very important, this is honestly, you guys all joke, but the table leg grab is one of the most important moves a cult leader can get. Because it's truly, because, what do we know about cult leaders? Most of them, besides Roch Thériault, are normally physically weak. And when the feds finally come to pull everybody out, you can't go to jail if they can't get you out from underneath the table.
So the pool so you're doing the pool table as a safe zone. So you're just like, I'm safe at the pool table.
You already know my very distinct, I have tactics. I have my alligator roll. I have my hurricane move. My hurricane punch is very difficult to get a hold of me. And then last but not least,
a wrestling toy from the 90s.
If I have to truly get away, that's when I get covered in butter.
Well, I know exactly. You're going to do a thing called lumping.
Yeah.
When you fall down to the ground and then you just fall. You can make yourself way more.
Oh, yeah. You go completely dead. And then you go like, you're not getting me out of here, please. You're not getting me out of here, fucking pig.
Absolutely. And then they're like, he's lumping. We better tase him.
Well, after the cops beat Roch with their nightsticks just a bit, Roch relaxed. That's really all it took.
That's what it takes sometimes. We all need perspective.
When they cuffed him, that's when the hypochondriac Roch started theatrically coughing and choking, yelling that his heart was giving out. Finally, the ambulance showed up, and of course, they found nothing wrong with Roch. But the paramedics couldn't really get a solid reading, because every time they tried taking Roch's blood pressure, he'd flex his bicep.
I'm sorry, I thought you were trying to show up to the gun show, huh? Is this funny? Is it a funny bit?
I do just think we could all learn a small lesson, though, from the one good thing that they did there, because Roch says, I think I'm having a heart attack, and what did they call an ambulance?
Called an ambulance.
That is the appropriate protocol, if anyone's out there.
Yeah. When Roch was finally put in a cop car, he said he'd lost all feeling in his legs and was about to have a heart attack. But when that got no reaction, he loudly said, quote,
I am going to shit my pants, you bastards. This is true.
The Dookie defense.
This is not even, that was a quote.
It'll work.
And according to the police blotter later written, Thériault, quote, was advised against doing this, but did so anyway.
So his immediate response, again, I don't think it's totally wrong. You got to squid your pants sometimes.
Sure, you got to squid it out. Absolutely.
If you are in a corner and these people aren't being reasonable and they're not laughing at your gun show joke because they said it's hack, and they're sitting there and they pulled you out from underneath the pool table, sometimes reasonable men are driven to do unreasonable things.
Absolutely.
And so what you have to do is just be like, I guess we're going full fucking scorched earth.
Well, I mean, you got fight, you got flight, or you got fart. And sometimes going with fart is the thing to do. No one wants to be around someone with poopy pants. That goes from when you're 6 weeks old to 60 years old.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be around someone with poopy pants.
And so the cops drove him to the hospital and carried God's emissary through the emergency room doors, covered in his own shit.
Hey.
But
Oh, what a day. So it started off going to the bar, just trying to get some money, and ended up with nothing but trouble.
Comes up again.
But despite Roch's bad behavior, Dr. Jess Grossbeck, the shaman polygamy enthusiast, got in touch with Thériault and set up a visit to the compound. This was yet another confirmation to Roch that he was doing something right, because he considered Dr. Grossbeck to be an eminent scholar.
Meanwhile, he's just using him as a fucking tool. He just wants the precious data from Roch's mouth.
Yeah, but at what point does this Grossbeck become a straight-up accomplice?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
When Grossbeck showed up at Burnt River, he found Roch on the front porch wearing an ill-fitting jacket and tie, holding his very own commune flag inspired by Alex Joseph's blue and white buffalo banner.
I tell you what I wanted to put, honestly, I wanted to put a big dick on there, but that Hagla complained, and that's why I beat her with a boat oar.
Oh my, he sounds like the demonic version of the boy from Up. He just wants to be a Cub Scout, but he's a demon.
He is a demon. I don't understand also the fascination with flags.
I don't know.
The flag, which was described as something a moderately bright bunch of kindergartners would design, featured red, yellow, and blue stripes amidst a crude rendition of a bear mauling a beehive.
Which is incredibly sinister.
Yeah. It's insane.
It's just a bear going after honey, which to my mind sounds like a big bearded man having a bunch of wood sex with a bunch of women that are not exactly like. I mean, they were into it, but then I think things changed.
This is the subjective nature of art, isn't it? Now you don't see it as a flag; you see it as an allegory for his sex life.
It is.
When Grossbeck saw this bizarre interpretation of everyday life on the commune, all he could say was, quote,
"Wonderful."
What is going on? No, what do you mean wonderful?
Fascinating. He loves it. It's like,
this isn't fucking Jurassic Park. This is nothing wonderful. It's a child's flag, and a man is having sex with a series of women who are horrible people to their children.
Wait a second, Roch. Before you say anything, tell me, do you make people eat their own shit here? Yeah, we do. Fascinating.
It is not fascinating.
Absolutely.
It is
wonderful.
You need more you need different content.
Well, I mean, to Dr. Grossbeck, Roch Thériault always showed him a version of things. Like, he always put his best foot forward. He never abused anyone in front of Dr. Grossbeck, and told Dr. Grossbeck, like, oh, the kids are taken away because we're polygamous, and the government, and we're French. Yeah, we're polygamous and we're French, so the government is persecuting us for these reasons. And Dr. Grossbeck, he wants a paper. He wants the academic. He wants he wants the scoop. He wants the scoop. Yeah, he wants the scoop. And he figured that Roch Thériault is going to be the guy who gives it to him.
With any luck, I will sell this paper for $1,500.
I don't think it's that much money.
I don't think it is either.
No. Now, in order to put his best foot forward on this first visit, Roch threw a party on the second night for the good doctor and somehow convinced a local justice of the peace and his wife to join them for drinks on the commune.
This shows that at some points, because remember back in the day, in the beginning of this, especially the second leg of their isolation period, Roch was being kind of funny. Right? Roch used to be a super charming guy. People liked him, and he somehow still had friends because he really was a different person outside. It's because he would still go, and they'd all put on a face. They all were miserable and underfed and physically assaulted at all times. But Roch was always quick with the joke. They were always kind of like laughing in unison. It's weird how that type of solidarity also kind of helps his persona. Having the wives there and them all acting like everything's legit, while he's there joking around like oh, they wouldn't be laughing if he was torturing them.
He's the character from Billy Joel's Piano Man, perhaps. Always quick with a joke or to light up your smoke.
You think that Billy Joel's character from The Piano Man castrated 2 adult men in a field?
You tell me how you become a pianist. You tell me how you
Long
become...
fingers.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, goodness. I didn't know that.
Well, the other thing that, isolated these women from everyone else and kind of kept them from really talking to anyone is that only one of them spoke English. All the rest of them only spoke French. So they were isolated all the time.
Yeah, every time they laugh,
that is not French. That is what you sound like a mouse taking a piss in a pool.
That's cute.
That's cute. Well, during this small soiree, Dr. Grossbeck went on and on about how he was going to write a book about Roch Thériault, the commune, and the polygamy that held it all together, speaking about his obviously subpar surroundings with blind fascination.
Oh, wait a second. Oh, look, is this a slide for the children? Yes, it is super entertaining for them. Oh, it is absolutely covered with splinters and it hurts to the touch. Fascinating.
Fascinating. Good grief.
Well, over the next few days, Grossbeck heaped praise on Roch Thériault and brainstormed a scheme to place a psychiatric clinic on the property.
Oh, my God.
Even offering at one point to close up shop in Utah and move to Burnt River himself. Because he didn't only find it fascinating, he found it practical. He was starting to fall in love with the lifestyle.
I think he wanted to be a polygamist, is what I think. And then he was starting to slowly ramp up and figure out. He is obviously a respected psychiatrist, strangely enough. But it is, I think that there was a little bit, he's looked at Roch and he's just like, oh, if I just had a penis that big, I'd be the biggest psychiatrist in the world.
Fascinating. So he wants to put a psychiatric center on the commune. Does he work for like, I don't know, Pet Cemetery real estate? Does he only sell like homes? It's like, yes, there's a lot of graveyards underneath this house. Why on earth would you want to put a center for psychiatric help in the middle of this dystopian hellscape?
He thought Roch had it made. He thought he had it made.
He thought he had it figured out.
This man? Oh, never. But he's an author. I know.
Yes, that's the thing. He's a natural observer of life. So I think anybody that does that, where he does look at all of us like we're ones and zeros, like he's just excited to like write the first paper about this new polygamous commune.
As for Roch, he started dreaming of himself as the director of a world-famous mental institution. And he laid the VIP treatment on thick by directing his wives to give Dr. Grossbeck massages and wait on him hand and foot. Well, after the doctor left, following his 4-day visit, he sent a thank you note to Roch Thériault, where he expressed his desire to live in the wilderness if only he could, but he can't.
Oh.
I'm just a city mouse. You know what I mean? I'm a city mouse that likes things like not getting beaten by a man who thinks he's God.
Well, then he ended the letter by complaining that his wallet had been stolen in Sacramento. And then just said, see you later.
Sacktown's gone through a lot of changes in the years.
But with the stamp of approval concerning his beliefs from Dr. Grossbeck, the tepid approval of his lifestyle from Alex Joseph, and the complete removal of children from the compound, Burnt River became a hell on earth for the Anthill kids. And this is when it starts getting bad.
What's worse than bad?
Horrific.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Sure.
Yeah.
You're a regular thesaurus, this guy.
Yes, he
He's
is.
some kind of New York Times bestselling
author. Wow, amazing.
Yeah, I was able to name 2 words.
Wow.
Look at me.
I only said bad.
All right, but just so for context, now it gets bad. But at this point, children have been taken away. We've already had a series of assaults in every sense of the word. Everything is a waking nightmare, and now things start to go downhill.
I think this is some of the worst torture I've ever read.
Yeah, I'd say if I were to compare, you could only compare this as far as torture goes to like Unit 731, or maybe Dr. Mengele. Actually, Dr. Mengele would be the closest I could come to it as far as badness goes.
Can we stop calling him a doctor?
Honestly,
Mr.
Mengele.
Mr. or just Joe? Crazy Joe
Mengele.
Well, when Roch was drunk, which was often, it only took one wrong look to make him angry, and thereafter, extraordinarily violent. And it really didn't take that many beers. About 4 or 5 was all it took to kick off something awful. But he could also drink for days on end. And the more he drank, the more violent he got.
Man, after 5 beers, I'm like 3 songs deep into Seeger's best hits.
That's actually a night. Yeah, 5 beers. That's a good buzz right there.
That's nice. It's just a nice night, you know?
Yeah. Well, on one occasion, Roch drank a 26-ounce bottle of cognac and got angry at Claude Ouellette for reasons no one cocould remember.
I know what it is. He called it cognac, and he's like, no, the G is silent. He's like, I don't think the G is. I don't think it is. Yeah, that could happen.
As punishment, Roch wrapped a rubber band around Claude's testicles and told him to keep them wrapped for as long as Roch wanted them that way. By the next morning, Claude's scrotum had swollen to the size of an orange and had turned various shades of blue and purple. The rubber band was removed, but a month later, one of his testicles became infected and felt, in Claude's words, dead.
So he just tested one of his testicles' pulse?
Yeah, it just died. Yeah.
I got a feeling I would know if one of my balls was dead.
Yeah, I think I'd wake up crying.
I never think about them as alive, to be honest.
No, I think of them as like, two separate little men.
Really?
One with devil horns on and one with an angel's halo. I hope the devil's the one that dies, not the angel.
I guess, yeah.
Now, Roch heard about the infected testicle, and since he'd been drinking on the day he heard, he decided to operate. And in a terrifying game of hide and seek that would happen over and over again with his followers, Roch stalked the compound until he discovered Claude hiding in an outhouse.
And it's hard to hide when your balls are completely swollen and infected.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So Roch got in his Jeep and rammed the structure over and over again until Claude came out. And once Claude was back in the house, the operation began. Again, using a razor blade, Roch cut open Claude's scrotum and plucked out the infected testicle with his fingers.
At least it didn't pop out like a jack-in-the-box.
I don't know. There's a lot going on down there. I only know this from the Tom Green. I
remember
know
that.
I mentioned
Yeah.
Tom Green way too much, but I only know this because of his testicle special.
Yeah, I remember that testicle special.
You saw because they showed the nut. There's a lot happening there.
Yeah. And
But this wasn't
Vas
sweeps.
Defrons, yeah.
Yeah, this straight up wasn't sweeps, man. This wasn't bout ratings.
Oh my God! Talk about sweetbreads here. Huh?
Roch then cauterized the wound with a piece of red-hot iron. But that wasn't enough for Roch. After the operation, Roch held a vote on whether to stone Claude for offending the Supreme Master, i.e. God. But nobody could even remember what Claude had actually done. So, when Roch's idea was voted down, he grabbed an acetylene torch and said he was going to look inside Claude's stomach.
When did Roch become Ayatollah? What is going on? When did they start stoning people?
He's been Ayatollah.
Really? They're doing stonings?
Oh yeah, to the kids too. They did it to the kids, and why not graduate to the adults?
Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
Not stoning to death, but
Okay, just enough, yeah.
Just enough, yeah.
It hurts.
Claude managed to slip out in the ensuing argument, still covered in blood. He had just had one of his testicles removed, and he hid in the woods for days until Roch sobered up with a full open wound in his crotch. Now, it wasn't uncommon for a member of Roch's cult to run away, or at the very least, make themselves scarce when Roch started drinking. Sometimes, if they felt Roch's wrath coming, they'd hide in the woods without food or shelter for days on end.
It still is wild to me that they actually had neighbors, though.
Yeah.
So, like, even while they are incredibly isolated, they still would deal with neighbors. And there was stuff I was reading about, like, they would go and how many times they would say they'd find a cult member hiding on their land, just being like, I'm just waiting for God to not be drunk anymore.
Jeez.
And you're just like, oh, that's bad. How long does that take? And it's like 36 hours.
Yeah.
My God.
Others would hitchhike to one of the two women's shelters nearby, both of which had a policy to not call the cops unless the women requested it, so as to not discourage women from seeking refuge. And none of the women ever requested it. The women who ran away the most often, and subsequently got punished for it the most, was Giselle, first among the wives, and the one who had given Roch a starting point almost a decade prior in her Thetford Mines apartment. One night in 1987, Roch got drunk and decided to punish Giselle for the last time she'd left. He picked up a hunting knife and whipped it across the room, hitting Giselle's thigh and leaving a 3-inch deep gash. Roch simply got another beer, told her that this was her punishment for dishonoring her husband, and went to bed. Jacques tried stopping the bleeding, but when Roch woke up a few hours later, he decided once again to operate.
I can't imagine just how frightening it must have been to be stuck in this. You're stuck in this scenario. You don't know how to get out. You keep going. It's interesting because we've talked about one of the stickiest cults.
Yeah.
We've researched because they have all these little opportunities to get out and get some context. They go to the women's shelter. They sort of half describe what's happening, not fully, and they don't fully ever say. They just know that, like, oh, you know, Rocky, when he drinks, he gets kind of out of control. But it's not just like black eyes and punching holes in walls. It's this like very, very dark serial killer level torture that no one I can't imagine what it's like what that mood must have been once he started picking up his first couple of beers
Yeah.
because you just are just watching him, because then it's literally like I joked about it before, but the idea that God's drunk and God's out of control when he drinks is
For some reason,
a scary sentence.
I feel like we could get Tom Waits to make a soundtrack to it.
Oh yeah. He thinks
Look, I
like
could
he
see it.
thinks
Yeah,
in
there's
that
a
movie.
line.
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a lot. It's a lot going on.
Oh, don't you know there ain't no devil, there's just God when he's drunk. That's the Tom Waits line.
Whoa, that's scary.
Yeah.
That is horrifying.
Yeah. Well, when Roch decided to operate, he took Giselle's leg and bent it, forcing the blood to spurt out from the cut. He then asked someone to grab a file and heat it up in the fire until it glowed red. Then, with the others holding Giselle down, Roch stuck the red-hot file into the wound before pouring boiling water into the cut as well.
That's not how that works. It's not a good idea. It's not how you'd be a doctor.
Giselle said the pain was so excruciating she passed out twice, and when she came to, she couldn't recognize anyone holding her down.
I think the only improver I trust to be a surgeon is Wayne Brady.
Yeah, he's very talented. Very talented.
Days later, the cut became infected, as they always did.
Yeah.
And after several weeks of pain, Roch decided he could heal it using the shamanistic techniques that had so impressed Dr. Grossbeck.
Man, he would just be watching with the binoculars, just going like, yes, this is chapter 3.
Wow. Yeah.
Yes.
At no point deciding to help.
Well, he didn't know.
He didn't know. I know. It's just, like you can do like a caveman steak where you grill it right there and it's really fun on the coals. But this is like caveman surgery. And it is not nearly as good, and it's very dangerous.
No, because they thought that like devils made you do things, and so does Roch.
Yeah.
He does understand that heat cauterizes. I think it ends there, right? He's like, if you make it hot, it stops the bleeding. Like, and that's where it ends, right?
I guess so.
I guess.
That's what but he doesn't realize that, those cauterized wounds can also get infected.
Right.
Yeah. Well, for his shamanistic concoction, he mixed salt with olive oil and spent 2 hours literally rubbing salt into her wound.
Oh, God.
She limped for a month, but survived. And that wasn't even close to the worst of what Roch's followers went through. Here, as it was cataloged in Savage Messiah, is a list of just some of the extraordinarily cruel and capricious punishments Roch inflicted on his followers as they were later reported to the police. This is over a, period of about 10 years or so where this shit would happen regularly.
This is basically the list of ingredients for this cult.
Yes.
Yeah.
His menu, his torture menu.
With Nicole, Roch took his acetylene torch to her stomach on the day she gave birth to her first child. Then, a few months later, kicked her in the stomach when she was 3 months pregnant, causing her to abort. This was also around the time he shot her in the shoulder with a .303 rifle.
He was always shooting guns at people. That was like one of his favorite things, that he would get drunk and then they would literally run around the forest like it was the duck hunt. Jeez. And he would shoot at them.
Josie was also treated to the acetylene torch. Roch passed the flame over her back and shoulders, roasting the flesh until it bubbled. Jacques had his ribs smashed in with a wooden club, and Giselle had her ribs broken by Roch's steel toes. Concerning Giselle, Roch also took a pair of vice grips and squeezed her nipples until they bled.
I don't like it.
Then did the same thing to Gabrielle. As far as Gabrielle went, Roch put her hand in a vise in the sawmill and tightened it while she screamed and plunged a syringe full of an unknown solution into her back, then snapped the needle off in her flesh.
Again, if you're into all this shit, you just got to get consent. Everybody's just got to be on board.
She also got a torch to the breasts, and Roch singed off all her pubic hair as well for good measure. Her fingers were fractured, she was repeatedly beaten, and Roch ordered Jacques to cut one of her pinky fingers off with a pair of wire cutters.
They got all these hunting knives around. Why don't they ever hunt?
Because he's
Why doesn't Roch ever actually just
They're
go?
vegetarians.
Just go.
They're vegetarians.
But honestly, oh wow,
They're vegetarians.
Wow.
They are
Isn't
staunch
that,
vegetarians.
Oh, I'm
They're
so
vegetarians.
sorry.
And
So sorry for even bringing that up. The idea of eating meat. I didn't want to offend the tribe.
I also forgot that Roy Potter, one of the biggest reasons why he disliked Roy Potter was because he smokes.
Alex Joseph was a smoker.
Oh, yeah, they didn't like his smoke.
He doesn't like that. No,
No,
but all
he's
of
very,
this is
he's very anti-smoking.
But when it came to sustained torture over the decades spent in the wilderness, no one got it worse than Claude Ouellette.
Well, because he was the one married to Maurice.
Yes.
He was the one because Jacques was like his enforcer.
Yeah.
Claude was sort of like kind of like a lapdog style because he brought his wife into it, even though she was constantly the butt of total of torture and derision and humiliation. And it was weird because he kept coming back. There was something about the way Roch kind of outwardly splayed his own kind of psychological makeup, where he had Jacques being his heavy that represented when his master was bad and made him do bad things. But then Claude was like you always have to keep one weak person in the cult for definite so that they become the butt and become like somebody that you can focus things on. And as you're moving attention around the room, you can always bring it back to Claude to like, now we'll fuck with Claude tonight.
Right.
Well, among many other punishments, Roch took Claude's foot in his hand and bent each toe backward until it snapped, sliced open Claude's left arm from shoulder to hand with a piece of broken glass, and yanked 11 teeth out of his mouth with pliers. He poured boiling water on his shoulders and back, seared his ass by making him sit naked on a hot stove, ordered one of the women to break Claude's legs with a sledgehammer, then ordered all of the wives to pluck his pubic hairs out one by one, and forced him to literally eat shit.
I mean, don't tell me what I want to do to Mitch McConnell, but I will say that this is very, it's bad.
Ooh, edgy.
Thank you.
Edgy.
Yeah.
Edgy.
Wow.
That's topical. That's
I'm a regular Bill Maher.
Wow, he went there. He went there.
Yeah,
he went there.
I went there, and I'm not coming back.
This guy is living a life worse than James Caan in Misery, another movie I bring up all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But what a freaking nightmare.
Yeah.
Poor
this is happening all around you. And that is what I just gave was a very short list of all of the things that he did. Those were only the weirdest ones. That wasn't just like the regular shit where it's just,
every day's a nightmare.
Just every day's a nightmare. Yeah.
Every day is horrible. These are just like the bad days of the worst days.
Yeah, and then some days they would have, because Saturdays they had off.
Oh, no torture on Saturdays.
Saturday was the off day.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. Thank
true.
God. TJIS.
Is that weird that is true, that everything stopped on Saturdays? That was like the day that Roch was like super chill because it was a Sabbath, and they all would take the day off. But this is, it would just kind of escalate. It would, because it's over the days, because he'd go into drinking binges. So by the time it was like day 3, that was when he was at his most dangerous.
Another thing I constantly bring up, the New York Times crossword starts easy on Monday. By Sunday, it's freaking impossible.
You've brought this up this series.
I know.
And in the end, every single one of Roch's followers were so brainwashed, so far beyond reason, that they thanked him for it every time. They blamed themselves, reasoning that Roch's God had to be furious with them. Because otherwise, why would Roch do any of this? Because every time he sobered up, he would talk about how awful he felt about all of it. He would talk about how he didn't want to do it. Why would he would scream at God, why do you make me do these things?
Which is scarier than anything else. Like the idea that he felt like he was a puppet too, which is absolutely insane. There was a quote actually from one of the members that is just so French that I just wanted to read about why they stayed. Who is crazier, me or Roch? We both were. He claimed to be the only representative of God, and I believed I was a child of the Lord, obedient before his representative. We both ate from the same plate. That, if ignorance and illumination.
Well,
that's classy.
I guess that's classy. It seems strange though, because you get the feeling like he breaks all of his cult members' toes, and then they're just like, "I'm so sorry for having toes."
Yeah, that's what they make you feel.
I did the toe thing. I have the toes. Of course you can break them.
Well, Roch called this punishment the law of reciprocity. In his view, his followers had sinned and had to be punished. And when he beat, stabbed, shot, or just straight up tortured them, he was only doing so in order to rid their bodies of Satan. In their belief system, those who did not suffer greatly in life would never be allowed to enter the kingdom of heaven. So in the minds of his followers, this punishment was not only deserved, it was essential for everlasting life.
Roch, I do not want to, I'm not coming against you or anything, but you shoot at me and you stab me and stuff.
Yeah, you mean I teach you lessons. That was on the curriculum for the day.
You're a horrible shot, buddy, because you haven't gotten Satan yet, and you've shot me like 8 times.
I'll tell you what, my friend, that's because I had one eye closed.
You had one eye closed. Can you just get him next time so you can stop shooting the Satan out of me, please?
I just wish Satan wasn't so small.
Yeah, he's tiny, yeah.
And sadly, the love letters and apology letters from the earlier days evolved into adoring testimonials of the necessity of Roch's cruelty. This is a prime example, and a letter written to Roch from Solange Boyard.
Good day, Moses, my master. I would have liked to have talked to you yesterday evening, but I think it is preferable to write these things rather than saying them for fear of talking too much. I am going to talk to you about the last fit of anger that your master exercised through you, but from someone much higher. For my part, I really believe that you were possessed by a very powerful spirit. That is what I saw in what you did. The throwing of the knife, the rifle shot, the harm done to Mammy. My eyes saw things that went beyond them. My body is very afraid of all of these things. I understand it very well because of the law of death in which it exists. But within myself, I am well. I am very well and very happy to belong to a real master who himself belongs to the only real master of life. Love, Solange.
Well, it was a lot. So it's good she wrote it.
Yeah,
I mean, I can say if you're Roch, you're just constantly hammered, and you're just like you gotta get on with it. I guess
this is a quote from Roch of what he said to her about the punishments. It is for her own good. I beat her because I love her. Nothing like taking a stick to the back. I wrenched a stray sheep from the devil's clutches, and I brought her back to the flock.
All right.
Yeah. But the writing of that letter would unfortunately be one of the last things Solange Boyard would ever do, because Roch's penchant for amateur surgery was about to once again turn deadly. See, by 1988, Solange, despite the tone of her letter, had decided once and for all that she was going to leave the commune for good. But in the meantime, she let it slip that she wasn't feeling well because of some sort of stomach ailment. And Roch started talking about the possibility of an operation. Then, one day, as it happened again and again, a small incident snowballed into a cavalcade of pure madness. On that day, Roch was drinking and decided to try out the king routine. Decided he wanted to be king for a day.
King for a day.
It would build little by little, because you remember when he talked about how everyone had to go look at his jewelry and talk about how nice his jewelry was, even though it's all literally costume
This
bullshit.
is one of those days.
Yes.
Okay.
He put on his special ring, and Chantal and Nicole, ever the most loyal of his followers, dressed him in silk sheets and put a crown on his head with all the reverence befitting a king.
God, this is just fucking, it's like that Metallica video, dude. This is so fucked.
Yeah.
Now, on that day, Roch had directed Claude to overwork Solange, building a road, despite the fact that her stomach ailment had been feeling worse than ever. And as night fell, Roch had Solange brought to the bakery. Now, by that point, Roch was very drunk and had a wild look in his eye, the same look he got when the violence was about to go over the top. First, he choked Solange and Maurice until they turned blue, simultaneously stuffing clothes in their mouth and asking them if they knew that their breath belonged to him. He then told a couple of the women to go get his jewelry, including Giselle. But Giselle couldn't take this level of violence that night. She knew where this was heading. She escaped through the back of the bakery and left for Quebec with nothing more than the clothes on her back.
Just started to run.
But for Solange, the torture was just beginning. Once one of the women returned with Roch's costume jewelry, he asked Solange how much she thought it was all worth. But when she didn't give a satisfactory answer, he grabbed her by the shoulders and asked her if she was ready, because this was the night that Roch was going to treat her. So the table in the bakery was cleared off and Solange got undressed willingly. She lay on the table and waited for Roch to operate on what he thought was the source of all her stomach problems. Her liver.
Oh.
No, but that's wrong.
I think a lot of it's wrong. Worst doctor, is he... Never. I was just thinking like Dahmer as a scientist or he as a doctor. Who's worse?
Dahmer was a lonely heart trying to create a boyfriend. Dennis Nilsson was a lonely heart trying to create a boyfriend.
Yeah. Lonely heart, huh?
Yeah, lonely heart.
You know, that's
Harold Shipman, one of the most boring mass murderers to ever live.
Sure.
He was a doctor, but he did it with hot shots, so that's easy and dumb and. Oh God! I mean, the worst doctor of all was Mr. Mengele.
Yeah.
But
okay,
he's coming up there.
Well, before the operation, Roch gave Solange an enema. He ordered Gabriel, the nurse, to make one with molasses, water, and olive oil. And with Solange naked on the kitchen table face down, Roch roughly jammed his fingers in and out of her rectum. He then took the enema tube and did the same thing, causing excrement to spill out all over the table. He did it for 30 minutes. Then he ordered her to roll over for the operation, all on a surface covered in Solange's own feces. First, he pressed hard on her stomach with his hands and punched her in the same place over and over again. When she tried protecting herself, he told her to take her hands away, and she did so willingly and without complaint. In fact, during the entire operation, all throughout everything, Solange never once screamed or struggled, never said a word, and suffered through the entire thing, believing that this was the punishment that would one day get her into heaven.
Meanwhile, she didn't know was watching every piece of content on Quibi. But it's past.
That's how you get into heaven?
Yep.
Watching Quibi?
None of us are going.
No. Isn't that interesting?
No one's going.
Okay. I'm happy you got your Quibi dig in, you malicious, out-of-work actor, you violent Hollywood egomaniac.
When it came time for the surgery itself, Roch made an incision in Solange's side 5 inches below the rib cage. He then jammed his fingers inside, grabbed hold of her intestine, and tore out a 4-inch long piece with his bare hands and put it on the counter. And then he said, "That's it.
That's it?
You're going to be all right." And
I don't feel all right.
No, it feels like how I would fix a car.
Yeah.
Where I just go in and I'd grab what I thought was a carburetor and just kind of put my hands on it and then close the hood and be like, that'll do her.
The problem here is we're going to want to make those wheels square.
Oh, we want it to not go, huh?
Yeah.
Well, someone, probably Gabrielle, sewed up the incision. Probably using twine. That's what they usually used to sew up incisions.
Wait, well, how did they... But is she now... So now she's just internally bleeding, I would assume,
well,
right?
Yeah. I mean, Roch immediately... I mean, she's still conscious. Roch immediately made her get up and walk around. Like, walk it off.
Walk it off.
You'll be fine.
But she lived.
She lived that night.
Yep.
The next agonizing morning, Roch ordered her to take 2 baths. One warm bath with herbs, and then one freezing cold bath for what he just said she needed to do it.
Okay.
The cold water sent Solange into shock, and she was led to bed where blood began pouring from her mouth. Oh. She died soon after from acute peritonitis caused by digestive chemicals leaking into her abdominal cavity. Because part of her fucking intestine was missing. There was shit leaking into her stomach.
Nothing, and I'm just sorry to even say the sentence, but nothing cute about that, is there? This is very bad.
Yeah,
very
it's
bad.
Fucking awful.
Yeah,
it's god awful.
So she just so now. All right, well let's just continue on because there's like a lot more people.
Oh, there's so much more. This is even the worst. We haven't even got to the worst yet.
Good. I'm so happy about that.
Yeah, you happy?
Happy about that.
I will say this is another interesting fucking quote that talks about the silence of the commune.
Yeah.
I'd like to point out that during this entire communal existence, our voyage took place in total silence. Conversation among the members was non-existent.
Dang.
Basically, what they said was that this was all done with eyes, and the only person who really talked ever was Roch. Because what they learned, too, was that speaking up is what got attention put on you.
Yeah.
And so eventually, everybody became super quiet, especially stuff like this, because Solange, she didn't make a fucking noise throughout this whole thing. And then on her deathbed, she said apparently, I didn't know someone could suffer so much. Like she said this thing, but she thought at the same time, I'm going straight to heaven.
I hope it worked out for her. I mean, I guess we don't really. I really do hope it worked out for her.
Yeah. Now, Roch, of course, put on the drama queen act after Solange's excruciating death, making it all about him.
He was never the same, they said.
Well, and also let's just clarify, it's the drama king.
Yeah.
Because you think about the queen.
Yeah.
They're less dramatic in many ways than the king. No. Yeah. That's interesting.
Have you been watching The Crown? Queen
Yeah.
Elizabeth, she's got herself together.
Exactly.
She's quite cold.
I don't watch
know.
documentaries about people or biographies about people who are still alive. What's the point? Wait, I don't.
What do you mean,
You
what's
don't
the
know how
point?
it ends.
She's
You
basically
don't know
dead.
how it ends.
She's like 95 years old. She's not doing anything new.
Wait until she has an act of domestic terrorism under her belt, and then
I'm
wait
excited.
until she's
I'm
the next
excited for
domestic
it.
terrorist.
I want her to get her shot.
Well, first, Roch asked Jock to shoot him. But when Roch wouldn't, Roch tried killing himself by running a tube from the cult's van from the exhaust into the cab. But that didn't work either. Then Roch tried swallowing 2 bottles of Tylenol, making sure to point out to everyone, these are extra strength. They're gonna kill me. But he didn't even lose consciousness. And after that, his followers tied his hands and feet with strips of blanket and put him into a bathtub full of water to try and drown him.
Try to drown me. Try to drown me. See if you can. Roch, I just want to say, honestly, with your head sticking out of water and you yelling at us, it's very... See if I can drown. I dare you to see if I can drown outside of the water. If I was going to die, couldn't I not drown standing here with you?
But as Roch later wrote in a pathetic letter to a post-mortem Solange, a white light appeared before him, a strange force entered his arms, and the bindings were torn away. He came out of the water and yelled,
God doesn't want me to die.
It's almost like the people that you've been feeding bugs for 10 years aren't strong enough to tie a rope.
Seems to be part of the plan.
And that's how Roch absolved himself of the death of his favorite wife.
Oh my, look at that. Just
That easy.
no problem.
Done. One and done.
1, 2, and done. That's set it and forget it.
But this tragedy had given Roch a few ideas. And for Roch, his favorite spitball buddy was Dr. Jess Grosbeck.
Fascinating.
I honestly hate you, Doctor. I don't know.
Wait a second. So you put it in her mouth and her butthole.
It's really not fascinating.
Oh,
It's
that
just
reminds
abuse.
me of
It's
the
not even-
butthole practices of the Pekingese warriors of 1548. Fascinating.
It is not that fascinating. It's sad.
Tell me, Roch, how big was her butthole?
You want me? It's big.
Fascinating.
It's not fascinating.
Now, after Roch convinced Giselle to return to the group despite Solange's murder, Roch traveled down to Salt Lake City for a short stay with the doctor. Roch told him that Solange had died of a pulmonary embolism, and it even made Gabrielle write a 2-page letter confirming the prognosis. In fact, Roch had probably convinced himself at this point that she died of a pulmonary embolism, that it wasn't his fault. As Roch told it, he was out surveying the beauty of his domain when Solange, or Rachel as he called her, came up to him, called him Moses, and told him that he was her God. She then began to choke. Blood rushed from her nose and mouth as her eyes rolled up into her sockets, and she died there in his arms.
He wasn't lying about the blood coming out of her nose
Yeah,
and her
but I
mouth
think
and her
it
eyes
was
rolling up in the
the
sockets. But
reason.
it shows how much a story, while sometimes exaggerated, can be based on fact.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess that did happen.
Well, but I mean, telling him that, Roch made himself this tragic figure. His
Exactly.
favorite, he had said that he had finally come to love her as a wife. She had finally been let into her heart. So, Dr. Grosbeck, while saying fascinating, is also very sympathetic to Roch Thériault.
Yeah, because he's upset because he said in her death, he found out that Solange was his favorite wife.
Oh.
Yes. Roch then started describing the dreams he'd been having since her death, which Dr. Grosbeck again found fascinating. In the dream, Roch had been summoned before a tribunal and had been found guilty, quote, of being a human being.
Oh my God, what is he, Robert Downey Jr. from his drug days?
I'm not happy with this.
I'm just guilty of being a human being, man.
Yeah. You're guilty of being a great actor, too, buddy.
Well, I'll go to lifetime of jail of being a good actor. Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you indeed.
During sentencing, Roch lamented that he'd never see Solange again, but still knew she was inside him. And the dream tribunal judge said, quote,
I once had a wife inside me, too, and it's all right. I know what it feels like.
Oh my God, that's so much better than what the judge could have said, which is like, don't pee on my shoe and tell me it's raining. Am I Judge Judy?
That'd actually be incredible.
She does do that. She says that.
I remember that.
Don't
She's
pee on
honest.
my rain and tell me it's rain. Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining.
She built an empire on telling it like it is.
Yeah, she does.
Then, in the dream, Roch walked behind a tree and masturbated.
Cool.
And when he ejaculated, the sperm took the shape of Solange's head. Then her whole body emerged, and they had sex.
Okay.
And then the dream ended, and Roch woke up happy.
I always do when I have sex with my cum wife in my dreams.
Yeah, there's nothing more fun than dreaming about masturbating. Because you can dream about anything. You could theoretically have a person with you, but then who wants that?
But then your
Yeah.
cum turns into a woman.
No.
So then they're cum.
I had a dream that me and Carolina went on tour with Glenn Danzig, but he wouldn't let us ride in his truck.
What a dick.
Honestly, Danzig did not do that. That's one of the
What
things
a
he
dick.
He
I'm mad
didn't do
at
that.
him
That's
now.
Marcus's
I'm mad at
dream.
him for Marcus's
No, but
dream.
Marcus's dream did that. Marcus
We didn't mind
did
it.
that
We
to
understood.
Danzig.
We understood. We
Yeah,
got
you
it.
wanna ride
We
with
didn't
Danzig?
expect him to ride. We didn't expect to ride in his truck, but we also didn't expect him to pointedly tell us that we couldn't ride in his truck.
Also,
I mean,
I have a
Danzig-
pickup truck, so I think that Marcus thinks I'm Danzig.
Straight up, Danzig is rude, number one.
Well, he
and
is.
two, you guys should, I mean, he's a person, so I feel like you should ask for more from your dreams, dog meat.
Well, Danzig's a pretty cool guy to appear.
No, I'm not really sure what Dr. Grossbeck was thinking here, but he was more than intrigued by this whole thing and even gave a name to Roch's fantasy. He called it reverse birth, where a woman births a child from heaven, but a man births a woman back to the Heavenly Father.
As a matter of fact, guys, I'm sorry. I had a burrito before the show. I got to go have a reverse birth right now. Just real fast. I had some Chipotle. Whoa, extra guac. Wow.
Unless if that burrito was made of like one of your ex-girlfriends and she became alive again after being birthed from you, then that would be a reverse birth. Otherwise,
That'd be super dope, and that's our next live show right there.
Yeah, I was just trying to make a poop joke, but
No, we're taking things seriously today.
Okay.
I'm trying to explain reverse birthing, sir.
and I'm
getting
picking
to
up what you're throwing down, my friend.
Was because this is so Jungian.
Yeah.
He's a Jungian psychoanalyst. So he came in with this dream. So this reverse birth thing is very Jungian and it's very like symbolic, but he's also a Mormon. So there's this also kind of actually hyper literal way he's taking it, because then he uses his Mormon thing and this concept of when you marry a woman, you basically help her get closer to God, because women can only get super close to God if they have a man's help.
Oh, yeah, you
Especially
always
when
need
the
a
Mormons
big, stinky dude.
to
Just
lift you up.
Yeah, get you
Gotta
there.
get you
yeah.
up, hoist you up. And so, but the problem is that when he said this all very floofy and fascinating. Oh, this is fascinating. But Roch took this seriously.
I feel like Roch took a lot of stuff way too seriously.
Very seriously.
Yes.
Well, this is from the doctor's own notes.
See, Roch. It's amazing. Roch has
I want to punch you so freaking.
No, I'm a doctor.
Okay.
Roch has this idea that Giselle will enter through his belly, just like Solange, and be implanted in it, and even all the other 6 wives. That's why Roch, in many ways, feels that he cannot die until they all have died, because he has got to go through the process with them and birthing them to get them into heaven. This is a remarkable cycle and opens up many implications. Fascinating.
David Icke is more of a political historian than you are a doctor.
It is just, my feet are getting bigger.
I don't even.
My hats don't fit anymore.
Right.
I'm so fascinated.
Have you ever, Doctor, did you ever ask, like, what happened to Solange at all? Or did you ever follow up or anything and be like, well, that's so kind of weird this healthy woman just died. It seems like a lot of people are dying on your commune. Have you ever followed up or you just.
Who?
Solange, the reverse birth, the jizz?
The reverse birth is one of the most fascinating concepts I've ever heard of.
All Dr. Grossbeck really did was fuel Roch's delusions. He gave him permission to think of himself outside of the bounds of law and reality. He named him a shaman. He named his delusions, and he validated every goofy thought that came through Roch's head.
He gave him the tools because he said, oh no, I recognize this. And so now he's just like, a doctor told me that all of this is fucking great.
Right.
And actually, he went as far as to say it was fascinating.
It was really Roch. That's amazing.
Well, the doctor was talking about, of course he was talking about reverse birth metaphorically. he was talking about it metaphorically. He was talking about it spiritually.
Yeah.
Roch took it literally. He told Giselle that Dr. Grossbeck had told him that he was probably pregnant with Solange.
It's in me. I have a baby in me. I'm like Arnold
You
Schwarzenegger.
are. Remember that movie Junior? I think it was called Junior. Really fun.
I thought that was in Total Recall. I've seen Junior. It's my
dude,
favorite
you're-
film because I just think about Danny DeVito putting
think that's
the
twins.
baby
That's
inside
twins.
No, Danny DeVito's in Junior.
Is he
This is Henry speaking. And Danny DeVito's that whole thing where he fucks him and puts the baby in him. That's not true. But it should be.
What do you know? Yeah, he's on the cover. He's on the poster.
He's the
Danny
doctor.
DeVito's- yeah, he's the doctor.
OBGYN in that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he's the OBGYN. Yeah, Emma Thompson.
You
Also in this
imagine
movie.
being a woman, you're pregnant, you're exhausted, you open up the door and Danny DeVito is your OBGYN.
I would be thrilled.
I don't think so. You're not supposed to be able to go inside of the woman, your entire body.
That's how you make sure the baby's safe.
I guess so.
There's plenty of little OBGYNs that I'm sure do a wonderful job.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying not Danny DeVito.
I think the tinier the better because you don't want big ham hands going in there.
No.
Well, we would know. Well, I'm sorry, Marcus and Henry. I expert Zabrowski.
On women and pregnancy?
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
Now, from Dr. Grossbeck's place in Salt Lake City, Roch swung back by Bigwater for a visit to Alex Joseph, so America's first libertarian mayor could perform a ceremony that would seal Roch's murder victim to Roch for all eternity.
Freedom.
But that's where it's interesting because he wants the other wives were also they were kind of like he thought that if he got everybody legit married, he could like get everybody back into the pocket, right?
Yeah.
Because people are starting to get freaked out because he
Okay.
murdered this woman with a bunch of amateur surgery in front of them.
So people are in the cult are starting to be like, this is getting wicked.
Yeah.
They're getting jittery.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
people are definitely getting jittery. Well, on the fourth day of Roch's stay with Alex, in which Roch was just freely handing out Anthill Kids brand maple syrup to anybody who wanted it, he was married to the woman he'd killed just a month before, draped in the bear fighting a beehive flag that he'd made out on Burnt River.
Oh my God.
Then he got married 3 more times, renewing his vows to Giselle, marrying Gabrielle in absentia, and sealing himself forever to Gabrielle Nadeau, the multiple sclerosis patient who died in a tent at their first commune. Then Alex made Roch a king. In a 30-minute-long ceremony, Alex appointed Roch to the office of elder apostle and king over his lawful realm. He handed over a certificate of ordination and appointment on behalf of the king of Israel, and Giselle placed a crown on Roch's head as Roch sat on a throne.
I wonder what the neighbors are doing.
I want to say
Just go check on your neighbors. Make sure no one's becoming a king real quick.
a crown is cool, but
Yeah.
the coronation is difficult.
Right. And you have to understand, like, you're just a person.
You're just a person. But this story, according to Alex, he kind of did this to get Roch out of the house. Like, that was his thing, is that he was like, oh, I'll go through this. But I feel like in his way, Alex liked being someone else's like confessor and mentor a little bit. And there was
Sure.
he got off.
I fed the ego.
Yeah, like making other kings.
Yeah, the cult leader would go to him for advice. I mean, that's a pretty big deal.
Well, it also, I think, it seemed like Alex Joseph very much enjoyed feeling superior to other people.
No way. America's first libertarian mayor? There's no way he's got a
not good.
sense of inferiority building inside of him.
Well, you are when you are your own king, you're also in charge of treating people very well and treating people with respect, because that'll actually make your life better.
Each one of Alex Joseph's wives had a job. They worked in the town. One of his wife was a lawyer. One of them was the construction, like literally a contractor. One was so his whole thing is that he wanted them. He's doing
Sounds
it.
like he actually had strong women around him.
He
though.
truly was doing it the old-fashioned way, where he was marrying women that were also a workforce. So they were working all in the town. He was working because he's a contractor and mayor. So he was working on the town, and they all had their little jobs. And they had real careers, but it was very strange. It's the way that worked out is very interesting. And he died peacefully at 62.
Well, that's great. And if anyone is a polygamist out there, again, as Henry sort of alluded to, but yeah, I mean, that's as far as a lifestyle goes. I'm sure you can have a fine same lifestyle.
The problem is when you marry them when they're 14, that's when it's bad.
That's the problem.
That's when it's bad. Yeah,
That is a
and
massive
the
problem.
YouTube comments on the video about Alex Joseph had many people saying like, I remember this guy hitting on me when I was 12.
Yeah. No. That's the problem is that it starts with pedophilia.
Right.
And it's always that.
That's
All
the
of
problem.
half the wives were married before they were 15 years old.
Well, I didn't see that in the episode of Sister Wives. I didn't see that.
No, they cut that part out.
That guy seems exhausted, by the way.
But just before Roch and Giselle left Bigwater, Roch talked with Alex about the fact that the government was more than likely going to come and take away the first child born on the commune since the kids were taken away, because Francine was 8 months pregnant. It's not like Roch stopped fucking and making children after the kids were taken away.
But it seemed like a lot of to be honest, the drinking kind of took over.
Yeah.
So he wasn't really fucking like he used to be. He was mostly drinking and ranting. But he had 2 new pregnancies on the commune that happened after the kids were all taken. But this is Alex
3.
and Alex kind of sniffing. Like this thing was just being like, you might want to leave that kid with us.
Yeah,
because
Alex, he offered his own place as refuge. He said if Francine was brought down to Bigwater to give birth, then they would take care of the child, and the government wouldn't get a hold of Roch's baby. Because Alex Joseph had his problems, but as far as cult leaders go, he was one of the better ones.
I mean, it's just weird when you're like, yeah, she can come and give birth here, but then Roch is also like, oh, great, do you mind if I do a reverse birth right now? And then he just takes his pants down and starts jerking off until he comes everywhere, and then he's like, look at the reverse birth.
No, it's just weird how it's kind of funny in a way that Alex Joseph looks good in this story.
Weird. But they're all complicit in their own strange way.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Well, Roch thought this was a great idea, and he made arrangements. And it does work out well for him because Roch didn't like children. He didn't like having children around at all. So he's like, "Oh, you'll take it? Cool."
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
This guy wasn't like he didn't have like a Mr. Rogers side
No,
to it.
he thought kids. Would you believe it? He thought kids were a bummer.
Really? Wow.
But as he was leaving, he gave Alex a disturbing non sequitur. Right in the middle of a conversation, Roch looked right at Alex and said, quote,
You know, the ultimate religious experience is for a man to eat one of his male offsprings. What? Anyways, let's come over here. I got the good Hebrew national hot dogs. No, because it's all beef. And it's very little filler.
Very cool. I actually like those. You can get those for free at Rudy's Great Bar in New York. I was there a few times. What?
Eat the male offspring?
Eat the male offspring.
And with that, Alex decided that maybe it was a good idea if they should probably just keep the kid after it was born. By the time Roch returned to Burnt River, he had a head full of nonsense from both Dr. Grossbeck, who told him he was a shaman whose ideas were so fascinating they were worthy of a book, and Alex Joseph, who effectively crowned him as a king. In Roch's mind, these 2 men were reputable authorities. So on his first day back, he entered the compound, began drinking, and announced, quote,
I'm pregnant and Rachel is going to grow out of me.
Hey, all right, look at that.
And that's why from now on, old Rocky's drinking for 2.
He's drinking for 2. And it's just so bizarre because he was actually Michael Myers' motivation for Fat Bastard. Get in my belly.
Get in. And that's what I said to Solange, I said, get in my belly. And she has a problem with it, so I put her in my belly.
That's scary, Roch. Everything you do, we started off having fun, but then you made it scary again.
It's kind of my thing.
It is your thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Now, many of his followers thought that maybe he was speaking metaphorically. But as the night wore on, it became obvious that Roch had taken Dr. Grossbeck's academic musings as literal fact. Later that night at dinner, he mentioned that he'd better start watching what he ate because Dr. Grossbeck told me that I'm going to have a baby.
I'm having a baby.
He's having a baby. Okay.
Well, look at me.
I am looking at you right now.
Where's my baby?
This is also, again, an audio medium. No one else can see this but me.
My breasts are
There's
filled
not
with
milk in your breasts. No.
Then what's all this white?
That's your
What's all this white?
your reverse birth you have all over your chest every morning.
Baby, oh, it's kicking. Feel it.
That's your
feel it. Feel the kicking.
That's your pork chili you ate a week ago. I'm not touching your
touch my. Oh,
I touched it. All right, it was disgusting. No, it's actually not that bad. You're doing good. It's kind of hard. It's kind of like a rock.
Yeah, I got guts in there. I got organs.
You got guts in there, sure.
Then things, as they always did, took a dark turn. After having a suitable amount of drink for the violence to begin, Roch began blaming Giselle for Solange's death because Giselle had snuck out the back and left for Quebec the night of the operation.
Yeah, she came back.
Oh, my God.
Oh, she came back before that. She went with Big Water to Roch. He's like, yeah, Giselle is dead, but you need to come back. And she said, okay. Like the pull that he has on these people, it's a combination of people always ask why do people return to abusive relationships again and again and again. Like, I don't necessarily know the psychology myself. I just know it's very hard to get out of an abusive relationship, and these people have an abusive relationship combined with God, combined with their religious conviction. So there's for them in their minds, there is no way out. It's like either I go back to him or I burn in hell for all eternity. So I can go through a little bit of punishment now, or I can have an eternity of hell later.
I feel like we're also missing a really big, crucial question in here, which is how bad is Quebec? If everybody
went
to Quebec,
it is literally one of the most beautiful cities in the world.
So it's a province. Montreal is a beautiful city.
Maybe Quebec isn't as good as this commune.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
You remember what we've talked about time and time again with cults. Once you've already been subjected to a certain amount of punishment and have come back
normalized
again and again and again, it's normalized, and you think about how much you've already given up. So by the time you try to pull out, you've already had all of these humiliating and damaging things done. You've watched them happen in front of you. You've let them happen to other people. You let them happen to your kids. So at this point, I feel like there's almost a self-harm aspect to it, where they also, because of the punishments that they believe that are given to them by God, they believe that they deserve these punishments, and they're kind of stuck in this thing.
Yeah. And they also are worried for each other. They've grown they've all been living together for, 10 years by this point, and these communes completely isolated from the outside world, unable to talk to anybody but each other. And so they're worried, if I don't go back, he's going to hurt them even worse. So they go back to protect their friends. Well, that night, Roch ordered Maurice to scalp Giselle. But Maurice said she couldn't do it. Roch then ordered Nicole to take the job. And without hesitation, Nicole just said, sure. Because there were some of these women who never ran away. And never ran away and never, ever did anything contrary to Roch's wishes.
Yeah, they were in lockstep. Solange was one of them, and Nicole is another one of them.
Nicole hacked off all of Giselle's hair with a butcher knife. And once Giselle was bald enough and bleeding from all the accidental cuts, Roch took the blade and sliced open the vein on the top of her head. And then he passed out for the night.
Oh, what an exhausting day for him.
It was a big day.
Oh, gosh.
A few days later, Roch ordered Claude, for reasons known only to Roch, to exhume Solange's body. Roch said that when they removed the lid from the coffin, Solange's face looked as if it was frozen in the act of screaming. God. It was not a peaceful corpse.
I don't want to think about it.
Fucking Christ.
That's horrible.
Oh, it's going to get a lot worse.
Yeah, this was one of those. When I remember when I first read that, when they said when they pulled the corpse up and their face was into screaming, locked in screaming, I was just being like, well, better watch some Riverdale or something. I need some kind of to get some kind of palate cleanser.
I'll change your face around if it looks like you died too sad.
Yeah,
Henry.
push my lips. Push me into a smile.
Yeah.
Push me into a smile.
What's scarier? I don't know.
Yeah, died with yeah. That's what that's what you get for using Bread X.
Ooh, Joker.
Well, once the body was back in the house, Roch ordered Gabrielle to douse the body in vinegar, open her stomach, and remove the uterus and kidneys. Once the organs were out, they were placed in a jar, and Solange's body was reburied. For 4 days following, Roch took out his anger on his followers, beating them, throwing knives, firing the rifle in their general direction. He told them that everything was their fault and that God was asking for all of their deaths as punishment for the death of his favorite wife. From the followers' recollections, they were just numb. They were just shuffling through the entire experience like robots, just taking orders in a haze and showing no emotion. Like he'd shoot a fucking gun at them and they just sort of duck and just keep moving.
So it seems like he just he completed. He got them. It's over. Like they're gone.
They are gone
psychologically.
Right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. They said they were vegetables was another word they used to describe themselves.
Yes.
Then on the fourth day,
you are what you eat. Oh gosh, I'm having fun. At least we're having fun.
It's always important to have fun. Remember we said that before the show?
Yeah.
Remember the three of us? We said this. We're like, this is going to be a dark episode, so we better have fun with it.
We're going to have fun with it.
Because things have changed. I think as a human race, I think we have done better. I think we're doing better than this now. Shut up! You shut up!
Then, on the fourth day, Roch ordered Giselle to dig up Solange again. Now, by this time, decomposition had set in pretty hard, but Roch declared that for some reason, the corpse needed a lobotomy. So, Jacques drilled a hole into the corpse's skull and opened it further with a knife. Then Roch masturbated into Solange's brain in front of everyone, and the corpse was reburied.
Why do I do, though, weirdly enough, because you had the dream about Danzig, why do I feel like this is a Glenn Danzig idea? Why do I feel like...
Because he kind of named... I mean, in songs like Bullet, like, he kind of name checks these sorts of, like, he talks about brains and semen a lot, and it's...
Yeah, do you think
he talks about semen a lot.
Because he's
I feel like he'd do
overcompensating.
this.
He's got a micro.
I think he'd do this.
Well, I don't think he has the hands small enough to jerk off.
Then, 2 days later, Roch had them dig up the corpse again.
Roch, I'm just saying, this season 8 of us digging up Solange is just getting a little bit old.
You trying to tell me it's jumping the shark?
Please, just do something like the Fonz. That's a great idea, like the Fonz.
Yeah, since the Fonz was here, I'd cut a hole open in his fucking skull and I'd jerk off into it.
Well, that's a weird episode.
By this point, Giselle had reached her limit. Finally, she convinced Roch to cremate the body to prevent further mutilation by framing it as Solange's last wishes. Like, she wanted to be cremated. Why don't we do that? Why don't we do what she wants?
She didn't want to be corpse fucked? She didn't, like, write that into her will?
Oh, God. She didn't want to
God.
be fucking bukkakied from the grave?
This is, all right.
But before the body was burned, Roch ordered Gabriel to remove one of the ribs. He wrapped the rib in leather, attached a chain to each end, and wore it as a necklace everywhere he went from that day forward.
It's a weird week here at Fashion Week. As you'll see, Roch, what's your new line?
It's called Solange.
Solange, oh, very cool, like Beyonce's sister.
Oh my God, Beyonce is a sister?
Solange, what Solange are you wearing?
Oh, it's a chunk of a woman.
This is...
Too hot for the runway, huh?
It's pretty hot.
As far as everyone else went, after the cremation, they were ordered to sift through the ashes, and each member took a chunk of bone from Solange's cremated corpse. But that wasn't the end of it.
Well, in a perverted way, if everything was peaceful and wonderful, I can understand having a part of the person. You know, anyway, everything is perverted.
Yeah.
I understand. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Yeah.
Finally, Roch put the rest of the remains in a jar of olive oil along with a picture of him and Solange. And on an almost daily basis, he took the jar out into his oddly sanctuary and masturbated into it, convinced that this would one day bring Solange back to life.
Oh, my Rachel, you're going to have a sister. I make her in my little baby cauldron.
Yeah, I'm actually happy I can mention this. I wanted to mention Integrity Farms. I've been watching a lot of South Park. Apparently, Randy, this actually kind of works because he came all over the pandemic special.
I remember that episode.
Oh my God, you have got to see it, Henry. It's the best. You'll love it.
But to get back to what we were talking about, I know we try to distance ourselves emotionally.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
And try to move on.
Yeah.
But there's just something about...
You should bring us right back to it,
It's just something about this detail that is just so like, wacky.
Yeah, wacky.
This is the detail that I sat and thought about for a bit, trying to decide, where does this idea come from? Is this a performative thing? Is this a narcissistic thing? Is this a true mental illness, like true delusion? How far has he gone? How does he get to this point? How does he get to the point where this is his favorite wife? He said this over and over again. This is his favorite wife. This is someone that he loves, at least as far as someone like him can love someone. And he's killed her. And he's desecrated her corpse, and he's burned the corpse. And so he thinks the right thing to do, that he believes his own bullshit so hard, I guess, that he puts the remains into a jar with a picture of himself with his wife and masturbates onto it on an almost daily basis in a stone shrine that is supposed to be where God's best friend talks to God.
I mean, in quarantine, a lot of people are doing weird self-care.
Yes, well, mostly people are baking sourdough bread, though.
This is
Which
don't
actually
know.
does take olive oil. Interesting.
That would
Don't
be a-
comment it though.
that
Go
would
over to your
definitely-
house and you're like, it's sourdough.
That would be a very sourdough.
Yes.
But this concept, in my mind, I think of all of him and Marshall Applewhite, him and old
But he would
Sleepy
have
Herf.
punched Applewhite in the face.
Oh, he would have ripped fucking Herf's head off. But they are true believers. I think of all of the cult leaders, he is closest to being one of the most pure true believers mixed with a malignant narcissism, just like unbridled, unchecked, because it's everything is about him. But this is still serial killer tendencies.
Not
Like,
just
it's about
unchecked,
ownership
but-
of the body. Like, it's the ultimate in personal, like, he is God of this dead body. Of all of the other live humans he has now this kind of his wife. Now it actually is like property.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he's turning it into goods.
But I don't think he's a true believer because he can be, because he can, as
Then
we'll
he
see,
flips out. He drops character all the time.
as we'll see again and again, like he drops character. At the moment he's challenged, it snaps out. It ends, and he's able to just pop in and out of this. Like he's a serial killer. Yeah, he's a
He's a
serial
fucking
killer.
monster. He's an uncontrolled monster.
Well, yeah, I mean, as far as being a serial killer goes, you might as well ask, was Ted Bundy fucking mentally ill when he returned to the corpses, put makeup on them, and had sex with them? I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you
What's mental illness and what's a hobby?
Well, I'm just happy that his sprained ankle was better with him because Ted Bundy was always spraining ankles.
Yeah, he's always cast.
the
Left and right,
volleyball.
yeah.
Must have been the volleyball.
Now, soon after the desecration of Solange, Roch returned to Bigwater and Alex Joseph with Giselle, Chantal, Nicole, Maurice, and Francine. Also, Francine could deliver her baby away from child services. Somehow, Roch had gotten even weirder since the last visit. The death of Solange had changed him, and he kept talking about, quote, compressed spirits in broken English while touching what was, unbeknownst to the people at Bigwater, his murder victim's rib hanging around his neck.
Just what's that?
To be honest, I could end up wearing a rib around my neck, but it's going to be a pork rib.
Oh, that's fun.
Roch even tried his doctor routine on Alex, urgently telling him that he needed to give him heart surgery that very second.
No.
And if he didn't operate...
The answer is no.
And if he didn't operate immediately, Alex might not last the night.
Yeah, but the first libertarian mayor knew that the only person he wants working for him is someone that he's paid entirely for himself.
There is no rule against great proper surgery within the libertarian community.
Well, when Alex politely declined, Roch changed tack and said that he could provide him a different kind of very special treatment, a very exclusive and very expensive massage therapy, only known to the best doctors in Europe. But Roch would do it for free.
It's called the Robin Dog Freedom. Freedom. Robin Dog.
My semen's free.
Well, this, according to an interview that Alex later gave, is how it went.
All right, I'll tell you how it went. So he comes and he does this body massage, right? And it involved putting pressure on my chest and arms and legs. And this guy is really good. I mean, good. I would have hired him to give me weekly massages. I coughed up some brown residue. I thought it was shit from my butt.
Really?
That's how far he worked it up. But I coughed up this brown residue. That is from the quote. But when he was done, he leaned over and he says, "Now, isn't that worth an extra $5? How about a little tip?" Which is true. He literally got done massaging him, and he was like, "Okay, now that it's done, how about a little tip there? I'll give you a little money."
How about a little tip? Like a Spider-Man on the Walk of Fame in Hollywood, just demanding money.
I hugged your kids. Now give me money.
Okay.
What was strange, though, is that where before, Alex had been trying to get his wife Boudica pregnant for 15 years. Wasn't working. But after Roch applied his magical massage, conception was achieved just days later.
Oh, interesting.
You see, the key is that the semen is normally at the back of the balls. Which is why what I like to do is I like to squeeze the semen, not unlike a toothpaste tube. And then I squeeze the semen up towards the top of the shaft because that's where the fun kids hang out at the back of the classroom.
Of course, we always tell the
that's
jokes.
fun. Yeah, they're the one. And a lot of times, the class clown, he is the wisest of all.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
So
I was voted class clown.
So was I.
Yeah.
Routed
Me
it?
too. I also was.
Really?
Yeah.
You were voted class clown?
Yeah, and wittiest.
I was voted. I was the loudest
wittiest.
and the rowdiest.
Yeah.
Alcoholic.
No, I was fun. I was the class clown, the loudest and the loudest and the rowdiest, and I missed class rebel by 1 vote. It went to my friend Tyler.
The drummer, we know the story, but he was quiet, and that's why you were always bitter about him.
Yeah. If this tells you something, I got both class clown and teacher's pet. I knew just how much to toe the line.
Anybody who
Mr.
wins.
Parks, you want to get the Teacher's Pet Award this year, don't you? Yeah, why don't you come into my office and we'll make sure to...
I'll do just about anything to be teacher's pet of
Yeah,
the
you
year,
will,
Mr. Sanderson.
Yes, that's great.
They just called me teacher's pet because I knew some of the answers sometimes.
You were valedictorian.
Yeah, I was. I knew all
He
the answers all the
literally
time.
just didn't say the South won the Civil War. And then they were like, you're the smartest, although you're also a bastard.
There were a couple of smart kids in there with me.
Of course.
A couple.
Of course.
Yeah. So soon after the massage, Francine gave birth, and Roch ran around the compound covered in Francine's blood, ranting like a lunatic about the miracle of childbirth as he held the newborn above his head.
Alex Joseph literally was awoken by a blood-covered Roch coming going, see? And but then he said, he's like, I don't understand how a man who's had fucking 23 kids can be so excited about childbirth. He's done it 23 times. That's literally what he said. He's getting all loopy about having a kid. He's done it fucking 2 dozen times.
Each time isn't an exciting experience, I would assume.
No, Alex Joseph was like straight up, those kids were workforce. They just went right into the fucking, they were at the quarry.
As was his freedom to do. You don't need child labor laws. Those kids are free to choose to work.
The only child labor laws that should exist are laws that make children work.
Isolate that.
Well, after the child was born, Roch started saying some concerning shit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I can see that. I can see it starts to get concerning now.
While talking to one of Alex's wives, Roch admitted that one of his wives had recently died. Just kind of let it slip. He gave a minute-by-minute account on how they buried the body, then a point-by-point review of everything they'd done to the body. Roch then told a version of the story that was somehow worse, saying that after they'd removed the rib, he sewed it to his own chest. But when the stitch became infected, he removed the bone and made the necklace that he was wearing at that very moment.
This big stinky dig out Hagrid who shows up at your house randomly. You're one of the fucking sister wives, and you have a job. You have a lot of shit going on. You're running the town. You got a lot of stuff going on. You're busy. You got 4 kids. You got probably got another one side of you, just bacon. And then Roch thinks he's telling you a fascinating and hilarious story where he's legitimately being like, and would you believe when we dug her up, it looked like she was screaming. That's what they said to me. I was like, oh, it kind of looked like, honestly, it looked like she was singing. And he's in singing, just controlled screaming. And he's doing all of these bits.
Maybe like a Stained song or something like that.
He just breaks down. He says how he's been like, and then, she needed to have a lobotomy. And then I was just like, oh, this brain actually could use a dollop of something I like to call God's cream. And they're all just sitting there like acting like they're supposed. He's acting as if they're all supposed to be impressed.
Yeah.
Because when he told this shit to Dr. Grossbeck,
that's why this guy is horrible.
His whole reaction is just him going, wow, amazing, and just writing it all down like it's like he's Jimmy Fallon telling him old funny stories from SNL back in the day.
Oh, funny indeed.
Well, Roch assured him. Roch assured Alex's wife, these are magical rituals. They're designed to generate spiritual power. There's nothing to worry about here. This is all super cool stuff. Dr. Grossbeck told me it was super cool.
He loved it. He said it was fascinating.
I will never go against Grossbeck. Ever.
Well, it was about this time that Alex started nudging Roch and his wives out the door. Why don't you get out of here? And he finally realized.
I love a good old-fashioned silence and why don't you get out of here?
Yep.
Like he finally realized that Roch was, in Alex's words, wackier than a wooden watch.
Yeah, he is pretty wacky.
A wooden watch is actually quite not wacky.
Well, now it is. Nowadays, because now wood is back. It's like in vogue. It's fun.
Yeah, wackier than a wooden watch. But then Wow.
He
that's,
sold it.
That's an indictment on a wooden watch, isn't
He
it?
said that he
if
was
I'm a wooden
wacky.
watch, I'd say, what the hell are you doing equating me to Roch?
He heard a story where he said that he removed his dead wife's rib from her rotting corpse and he
Wackier than
sewed
a
it into his
wooden
own. It is
watch.
wackier. Because honestly, that is a lot wackier than a wooden watch.
Yeah, I would say. But before Roch left Bigwater, he started drinking, and Alex finally saw the darker side of Roch Thériault. See, one of Alex's wives had a toothache, and Roch volunteered to pull it.
Uh-oh.
But when he gave her a mixture of different types of liquor for anesthesia, he just put vodka and whiskey and tequila all in one big fucking jar.
This is what I like to call a Quebecois iced tea.
Oh, really?
Well, he gave her too much, just as he'd done with the baby he killed. And she got sick. She just got sick. She didn't die. Okay. But while she was recovering, Roch, who had been taking a couple of tipples of the liquor while he was giving her the liquor, he went to Alex's office, where Alex watched Roch hold court with his 5 wives, getting steadily drunker and drunker. Soon enough, Roch decided to challenge Alex to a test of their manhood.
Oh, no.
When Alex refused, Roch pulled out his dick and waggled it around.
I figured it was going there.
Yeah, it does. He's very predictable.
Yeah, very predictable. Started bragging about his magic wand. That's what he called his dick.
Yeah.
Then Roch decided to show Alex how big of a man he was by showing off all the scars he'd given to his wives. He made Giselle, who was still bald and wounded from the scalping, he made her take off the scarf that was covering her head. Then he barked in order to show off the scars on her stomach and legs while he's laughing like it's the funniest thing in the world and laughing like, you want to see how you treat your wife? This is how you treat your wife. And when she called him cruel, he punched her in the face. And that's when Alex stepped in. Alex wouldn't take in this shit.
No.
Alex, who was a particularly large ex-Marine, picked Roch up by the groin and threw him into a chair in the corner of his office. He then pushed a button, and within moments, 2 security guards had guns trained on Roch Thériault's head. Woo! Truly challenged for the first time in years, Roch immediately backed down and began whimpering. His eyes bugged out of his head, and he said he would do anything Alex wanted in that moment. Just don't hurt him.
Oh, my God, what?
He's a bitch.
Oh, I hate
He's a
him.
bitch. This is why he's not a true believer. He is not a true believer
Yes.
at all. He is a bully and a coward. Alex kept watch over Roch until he sobered up, and then told him to go back to Canada and never come back. Roch complied and left behind Francine's baby, who, from then on, was raised by Alex's wife, Joanna, and grew up in Bigwater.
No clue who her father was.
Great. No need.
Now, the incident at Bigwater, coupled with the death of Solange Boyard, was a turning point for Giselle, and she started traveling back to her parents' place in Quebec more and more often. This, of course, filled Roch with rage, and he let his feelings be known in one of his journal entries from this time.
Nothing or no one will ever be able to make me suffer again and cause me pain in my body. Not my women, not my children, not my friends, not Mr. Everybody, or the pretty and grandiose Lucifer with the large vagina who gave birth to millions and millions of demons. I curse her with all the strength of my heart, she and her bitch early posterity.
Yeah, I hate Mr. Everybody, too.
And I hate grandiose Lucifer with the large vagina.
Large vagina.
But,
birthing everybody there. It's
Hey.
just interesting. We don't hear about a female Satan very often. I guess that's his view.
It's usually a succubus.
Because,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
So
because
you're
I think he
saying,
doesn't like women.
am I supposed to say, you go, girl?
Yes, you actually are.
Okay, let me prepare.
Yeah.
Okay. You go, girl.
All right, Satan just birthed another one.
But even though Giselle seemed to be the focus of Roch's emotional hatred, the woman who bore the brunt of the physical torture after the return from Big River was Gabrielle. Now remember, Gabrielle was a nurse prior to her time with the cult, and Roch always saw her medical knowledge as a threat to his own DIY style. And also, you know, as Henry said earlier, most of the cult members were silent most of the time. Yes. Gabrielle was the one who talked back.
Yes. Don't HGTV DIY this. Do What are you talking about? DIY style. That is the
do it yourself. He didn't say he taught himself.
That's like when you
didn't
get
have
a
to go to
fucking light bulb out with a potato that I
You're
was
talking about
talking
life hacks.
I'm talking about life hacks. DIY is I don't know if that's really how we describe Roch Terrier surgery.
You didn't have to go to a fucking seminary to be a priest. You didn't have to go to medical school to be a doctor. He's fucking DIY, bro.
Libertarian freedom.
Freedom. Yeah, no, people don't need fucking rules or certifications. DIY.
Well, honestly, and this whole scenario does remind me of the show Good Bones from HGTV.
Oh, no kidding. I like that show. I've also really gotten into Good Home. Or Old Time. Fun Home?
They're all you just named 3 different shows that are all on HGTV.
Old Town. Hometown. I think it's called Hometown, but I have been liking that show, actually.
Well, in Roch's view, Gabrielle was a mouthy, arrogant she-devil who liked to be the center of attention and acted as if she was better than everyone else. Therefore, as it is written in Savage Messiah, Gabrielle was a threat to Roch's dominance. However, Roch's terrible treatment of Gabrielle began long before Solange's death. Besides the tortures mentioned earlier, she was also the follower who usually got the feces in the face punishment, and that'd been going on for years.
And at some point, I bet you kind of get used to it.
I don't think you ever get used to getting flung with shit.
I don't think so.
I think we could talk to a janitor right now, and at no point would they. I bet you it's like when you get institutionalized, and you're like, as soon as it gets comfortable, you have to be very careful. If you're a janitor, and as soon as you smell shit and you don't mind it, you got to quit.
No, that makes you the ultimate janitor.
I don't know. I don't think you want to get too comfortable with it.
No, I want him to be immune to vomit, immune to shit, and immune to the sexual mores of the children.
This is how everyone got killed in Vietnam. This is when people just started killing kids.
No, man, if you're like the best janitor ever, then one day you can be the janitor at the Vatican.
That's huge.
Imagine the
amount of shit.
Well, perhaps the worst incident prior to 19...
Vatican's janitor is a really funny show. Kiefer Sutherland is actually going to be in it.
But the thing is, he looks just like the Pope. We find out the Pope had sex with a bunch of kids. We got to get rid of the Pope. We got to switch popes.
Janitor, the Vatican janitor, secretly the Pope's son.
Secret.
Oh, wow.
Don't give these ideas away.
I don't know.
Quibi is going to pick this idea up.
Or perhaps the worst incident prior to 1988 came a couple of years before. In 1986, Gabrielle had suffered from a prolapsed uterus after giving birth, and the constant manual labor had caused the organ to droop 3 inches down out of her vagina.
It's so fucking awful. It's just like, because to be honest, that you work so hard that you get the scoot.
I don't know.
You work so hard that shit is falling out of your pussy.
I'm so upset.
That's not.
It's the worst of all. I don't know why this one really fucks with me. It's just something about the uterus going, get me out of here.
Get me out of here.
That
I'm
really
exhausted.
freaks me out.
Yeah.
But Roch refused to let her see a doctor, insisting that he could fix it himself.
No,
This is
he
bad.
can't.
Honestly, guys, this is a fucking straight up warning right now. If you're a woman, I'd say cross your legs or draw a bath.
Yeah, you're not going to like this. First thing he tried.
So men are going to love it?
I'm going to say the women are going to dislike this as much as we dislike the testicle stuff.
I'm empathetic enough to understand that this would be uncomfortable. I don't need a vagina.
Yeah. Well, the first thing Roch tried was making her lie down on the table, and then he just punched the uterus a bunch of times.
The punching
just
technique.
Punched it, and then tried to force it back inside her body.
Yeah. You can't ever just fucking punch out it.
No, you can't.
Yeah, no. When that didn't work, he carved a cone-shaped piece of wood, jammed it in her vagina, and attached a harness on her waist to keep the uterus from falling out again.
Oh, my... Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. She lasted about a day with that before she slipped away from the commune and stayed at a neighbor's house, the Dudmans.
But I feel
Thank you, Dudmans. It's the only thing that family has ever done well is they don't leave their house.
But if you're like,
I love the Dudmans.
I will say, if you're like our friend Nadia White, if you actually had one of those things harnessed, like one of those, like a dildo that had a belt attached to it,
completely different.
That would be, she'd love that, and that'd be great, right? Like the thing, like I could see how you'd like it. But if everything is going south,
it's not good.
If you're getting gut droop, I don't think it's going to work as a cork.
No, I don't think so.
But, Gabrielle ended up returning And over the next year, Roch tried various techniques to try and cure Gabrielle whenever the fancy struck him, including an attempt at fixing the problem by tying a string to the exposed portion of the uterus and yanking it like it was a loose tooth.
Again, it's not a pork roast. Just stop with all this.
God, it's just
Side
like,
stories, lpotl@gmail.com. If you're a doctor, just shoot us an email. How do you actually fix this? Because we know what not to do.
I heard one way to do it is that if you light firecrackers at her feet, the uterus in fear will actually go back up into the body. But again, I'm a comedian.
Yeah, the Marty McFly way of doing it.
Yeah, you call it a chicken.
Yeah, you call me a chicken?
Oh God, help me! I'm just so upset.
It's really upsetting. It's
disgusting.
extraordinarily upsetting. It wasn't until Roch visited Bigwater for the first time that Gabrielle was able to sneak away and check herself into the hospital, where they performed a partial hysterectomy. They fixed it, and then she told Roch, well, it just kind of worked itself out. Fixed
Look at
itself. Don't have to worry about that anymore.
It never does.
No, just like COVID did. Kind of worked itself out.
Oh yeah, didn't it?
Yeah. Now, the Dudmans had decided to talk to Roch about how he treated his wives after Gabrielle later escaped and returned once again in 1988. But that only made things worse.
This is not like 1200. This is not like the year 1200.
No,
this is like 1980.
No, yeah.
This is 1988.
Yeah,
This is 1988.
1988. Huey Lewis at this point has had several hits out.
Yes, he has a series of news.
Yeah, EMF is about to make us know what unbelievable really means.
You're unbelievable.
What does it really mean, though?
Yeah, the Proclaimers were about to make us walk 500 miles and then
Wow.
walk 500 more.
Oh, we should actually do a whole series on the music behind the cults. Because all of this is way more disturbing.
Yeah.
Thinking about it with Huey Lewis in the news playing over it.
1988. Yeah.
1988, yeah. And that's the
So
thing is the
Batman
Dudmans
just came out like
89.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Well, the Dudmans, they walked over and told him, you probably shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
And that's it. They didn't
Sometimes
really-
Canadian kindness can be bad, can't it?
What's passive aggressiveness?
It's passive
We know
aggressiveness.
this.
It's not kindness. It's passive aggressiveness.
You just punch him in the like. I do like that about the American culture, where we would destroy this guy much
Well,
faster.
I mean, that's what Alex
I
Joseph
think
did.
so.
Alex Joseph grabbed him by the dick, threw him across the room, and had guys point guns at his head, and then threw him out of his fucking house.
But hey, guys, America's had its share of cult
I
leaders.
know,
Yeah, we got our
We
big
have.
dick cult leaders, and we had
There's
our
a-
tiny
there's a
wives
middle
cult
ground.
leaders.
There's
Yeah,
a middle
there's
ground.
middle
There's a
ground.
middle ground between America's fucking over punishment and Canada's permissiveness.
middle ground.
Middle ground. That's where the freedom is.
It is.
Well, after the Dudmans left, Roch heard Gabrielle complaining of a toothache.
Oh
So-
no.
I just would never say anything.
I'm
Anything
doing
that hurts.
great. I wake
Feel
up.
great.
I'm doing great today. That's what I say every day.
So he took a pair of pliers and roughly pulled 8 teeth out of her mouth, leaving her gums bloody and shredded. He did not do it with care. And he made a particular point to leave the tooth that was actually hurting in her head.
I was literally going to make that joke, but he left the tooth that was hurting. But he did that.
He did do that.
And as she stumbled away, blood pouring from her mouth, Roch pulled out his hunting knife and chased her around the room, threatening to stab her in the stomach. She reacted by grabbing the knife by the blade and sliced 2 tendons in her right hand.
Oh, God. Ow, 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 ow,
For
ow.
some reason, whenever we do like autopsy footage and defensive wounds,
Yeah.
you
scary.
feel them.
So
yes.
scary.
Oh.
Yeah. She escaped the house and made it to a women's shelter and therefore a hospital. But after Roch called and promised her that he'd quit drinking, she returned.
At some point, doesn't this women's shelter, and I'm obviously, thank God they're there, but at some point, don't they just be like, no,
No, they were desperate. They were
like,
desperate.
you're not allowed to leave
They
anymore?
were saying, please stay, please stay. But the whole point is that we're trying to have a place where essentially the cops don't have to get involved.
Right, no, I get it.
Yeah,
I
have
get
the safe harbor.
I get the premise, but my God.
Well, it wasn't long until Roch broke his promise and started talking about the shoddy job the doctors had done in wiring up her sliced tendons. So he took hold of Gabrielle's cast, grabbed a pair of pliers, broke the cast open, peeled back the skin, and ripped out the wires that were holding her hands together.
Oh, my Lord.
She again fled and again returned, completely unable to escape the gravitational hold Roch had on her very soul. That's where his hold was.
Yes.
It wasn't just in their emotions. He had hold of their fucking souls.
They really did, especially at this point, view him directly as God. They actually started openly
so they
saying,
got rid of the whole, like, he's the messenger
well,
part?
He would say that, but they all started, like, it's almost an inner belief system amongst themselves, saying, like, we don't think the master is real. We think that he's the master.
Right.
Now, about 6 months after Solange's death, and with his increased and pointed cruelty towards Gabrielle, Roch's hold on the Anthill kids slowly started to loosen. Members were running away more often and for longer periods of time, and it only took one more cruelty to make the whole thing come crashing down. On the night of July 26th, Roch got drunk and started boasting about his surgical skills, which was a sure sign that someone was about to get fucked up, possibly fatally. Giselle snuck out to hide in the forest, and Claude, Francine, and Maurice soon followed. Roch had noticed that the house was missing a few members, so he motioned Gabrielle over from across the room, telling her that he needed to check on the pinky finger that had never recovered movement after he'd ripped out the wires. He asked her to place her hand on the table, and without another word, drove a hunting knife through the back of her hand, impaling it to the surface. Then, with a smile, he said, quote,
You're not going to run tonight, huh?
Giselle stood there bleeding for 45 minutes until her arm turned blue, and that's when Roch commented that the arm wasn't looking so good. He declared that he'd have to operate, and grabbed a small, curved carpet knife out of a toolbox. He jabbed the pointed tip into her arm, halfway between the shoulder and the elbow, and began methodically carving out small chunks of flesh and flicking them on the floor, working through the tendons and muscle. But Roch had been drinking heavily this entire time and decided he was too drunk to finish. Instead, Roch made Chantal finish the carving, and she did so until a narrow band of flesh had been whittled away, exposing the bone on all sides.
It's like a Looney Tunes cartoon. Like, it's so scary.
Yeah.
Once that part was done, Roch grabbed the handle of the knife still stuck through Gabriel's hand and wiggled it loose from the wood, making sure that the knife remained in the wound. Now, Gabriel hadn't lost consciousness once during the entire ordeal, and when Roch led her outside to a tree stump, she followed. He then placed her arm on top of the stump and ordered Jacques to hold her down. Roch then grabbed a dull meat cleaver, raised it, swung it down, and missed. The second swing, however, hit the intended target. Using the cleaver, Roch Thériault snapped the exposed bone on Gabriel's arm, and the appendage fell to the ground.
Oh, my God.
And through all the misery and torture, she hadn't screamed once.
So fucking insane.
Yeah. The next morning, Claude burned Gabriel's severed limb while Roch dunked the stump in a saline solution, and Chantal stitched up the wound with twine. Gabriel had survived, but 2 weeks later came a further humiliation. On that day, Roch took Gabrielle along with a few of the wives to a doctor in a town called Newmarket, because a couple more babies had been born. Mm-hmm. After the appointment, to make sure the babies were healthy, Roch took all the wives out for Chinese food.
I just don't know if I'd be in the mood for Chinese food.
Oh, aren't you always kind of in the mood?
I mean, once you get in there, but...
And after a few beers, Roch started bragging to the waitress that he'd recently amputated an arm. In fact, the woman he'd amputated was here in this room.
Wow.
And when she didn't believe him, Roch made Gabrielle pull up her sleeve and show her stump, while Roch pointed and laughed. Now, if you follow the internal logic of the cult, Roch had amputated Gabriel's arm as a command from God, and this punishment was necessary for Gabrielle to get into heaven. In fact, when a couple of the cult members had returned after they ran away that night, when they returned and Gabriel's arm was missing, they were like, "Look, don't worry about it." She said, "Look, don't worry about it. Roch, Daddy took care of it. Pappy took care of it. It's fine." But
yeah, like she was totally, because she thought it was like, I need this. I'm supposed to have this.
Yeah, I'm supposed to have this. I'm getting the punishment that no one else is getting. Therefore, I am more holy than everyone else.
Yes, because then they brag about being punished more than everybody else.
But bragging about the amputation and joking about it with the waitress, that served no godly purpose. That was just cruelty for cruelty's sake. And that night, Gabrielle ran away and slept behind a dumpster. She made her way to a shelter, but was soon found by the ever-loyal Jacques. who took her back to the commune. 2 days later, Roch announced that the remaining 6 inches of Gabrielle's arm was rotted with gangrene, so another operation was necessary.
Oh my God, gangrene. She has the New York Jets on her arm. Wow, that's fun. I'm trying to do anything. She's missing her arm.
I'm thankful for you.
The whole thing is bad. The whole thing is bad.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. He pinned Gabrielle between his legs and cut 3 chunks from her stump with scissors.
Oh, God.
It's
the equipment.
It's childlike, too. Again, it's what we talked about. It's weird. It's like a child playing with toys mercilessly.
Yeah. Then he cut a 2-inch chunk of flesh from her right breast, explaining that he'd done this to, quote, redirect the infection somewhere else.
It makes all the sense in the frickin' world, doesn't it?
Then, for reasons he didn't explain, he whacked her on the head with the blunt side of an axe, leaving a large gash. Gabrielle fled to the forest and spent 2 nights sleeping on the ground, and awoke the second day to find that a swarm of insects had laid eggs in the open wound on her scalp.
No, it just doesn't get worse.
Could have done without that,
It literally is the worst shit I've ever heard. You become the Oogie Boogie Man.
Oh my God.
That's not good.
It's not good. No, you always want the insects not to be inside of your brain.
You know what? I'm going to go as far as to say it's only barely fascinating.
Yeah.
Wow, doctor. Wow, doctor.
Guess what? It's not over yet. Well, Jacques again found her and brought her back. And Roch ordered Jacques to cut a 3-inch section of a drive shaft from one of the junked out vehicles parked in their front yard. As Jacques did what he was told, Gabrielle was stripped naked and her left arm was tied to her ankles. And as the rest of the cult held her down, Roch heated up the chunk of drive shaft with his acetylene torch until the metal glowed red. He then jammed the burning metal into her stump again and again. But since he was so drunk...
This is how they made frickin' Candyman.
Yeah. But since he was so drunk, he kept dropping the heated metal onto her body. And by the time he was done, her torso was covered in black burns from every time he dropped it.
Okay, so how much of this does he actually remember? Because it seems like he was blackout drunk.
Well, we'll talk about that. There are quotes to talk about it because he definitely he blamed it all on the alcohol. We'll get into it.
Yeah. Finally, though, after everything, the feces, the tooth pulling, the stabs, the amputation, and all of the other torture, the burning had been too much for Gabrielle. Also, the insects. That had been a bit much.
Yeah.
3 days later, she escaped the commune for the final time.
Thank God.
She showed up at a nearby emergency room with an unbelievable story involving a rolled car, a heroic boyfriend, and a roadside amputation. But of course, absolutely no one believed her.
No.
It was, however, somewhat common knowledge that Roch Thériault was an abusive monster. And she said, yeah, I've been up at Roch Thériault's farm. So the cops jumped on their first instance of real evidence. They've been wanting to arrest this asshole for a long time. They filed a charge for aggravated assault and headed up to the commune with a warrant. But when they got there, they found the commune was empty. Roch, Jacques, Chantal, Nicole, and the 2 newborns had driven to Quebec on an Anthill Kids bakery run and had left everyone else behind. But what Roch didn't know, though, was that the event that was too much for Gabrielle was also too much for everyone else.
Yeah.
The remaining cult members, including Giselle, scattered and never returned to Roch's side, save one. Now, upon his return from Quebec, Roch knew he was a wanted man. So he, Jacques, Chantal, and Nicole hid in a makeshift lean-to not a quarter mile from the actual commune. It was so well camouflaged, they said you couldn't see what it was if you were 10 yards away. But the cops were on the hunt. First, they took down Jacques, who sacrificed himself so Roch could get away when the 2 of them were discovered scavenging an old water heater for parts. The next day, though, the cops tracked down Roch using good old hound dogs.
Yeah, hound dogs. Ain't nothing but a hound dog.
But it is.
It's a fun Elvis song.
It's an Elvis song.
Yeah.
It's a Big Mama. It's a Big Mama Thornton song, really.
Oh, Big Mama Thornton. Thank you for clarifying that.
Of course.
Little hound dogs.
That is cute.
Yeah.
What a cute break.
It is indeed nice to have dogs. Anyway.
Honestly, it'd be nice. This would be, if this was a visual medium, we'd just show a Pomeranian for like 3 minutes.
Oh, they would not be able to find anything.
Or a bloodhound. Good old-fashioned bloodhound. It's a
That'd be
cute dog.
Yeah.
But when the hounds found him, Roch stood in the middle of the woods with multiple revolvers trained on his body. But he couldn't help but make one last dick joke. When the cops told him to remove his belt and knife, Roch smiled and said, quote,
Okay, but if my pants fall down when I take the belt off, you'll see that my eyes aren't the best part of me.
Yeah, there's no good part of you. Yeah. Holy shit, look at that dick.
Now, none of the followers mentioned the death of Solange Boyard at first, but all of them did plead guilty to participating in the mutilation of Gabrielle's arm. Before long, though, Giselle Tremblay talked and gave the full details of Solange's murder over a bottle of wine with one of the investigators. She dished.
They get them drunk over there? Here, then we just beat them a bunch and then we force them to confess even if they didn't do it.
Well, it took them a long time to get the investigators to get the women to trust them.
Yes.
They didn't want to talk to, they were still worried that, even though they'd run away and, Roch was in jail, they were still worried that he was going to somehow rain his vengeance down upon him. And he'd also skated so many times before and talked his way out of shit so many times before. He might talk his way out of this one too.
He almost did it before. He did it with the kids. And honestly, he was almost paroled a couple of times. We'll get into it.
It is nice that there was like a Sergeant Smooth who was like, I know what to do. Pinot Noir.
Yeah.
Get the gal some Pinot. She'll be fine.
She'll be fine. That's what the girls like, a red wine.
Indeed.
Well, for the amputation of Gabrielle's arm, Jacques got 5 years, Chantal got 2, and Nicole was given 18 months. As far as Roch went, he was well on his way to talking his way out of the murder of Solange Boyard.
Oh, my God.
He'd already convinced the law to take it down to second-degree murder, and a judge had made a ruling that if Roch pled guilty to that second-degree murder, he would be eligible for parole in 5 years' time.
I mean, he said it even in this final little letter to the court. He said this, in spite of the bestial brute that I was, I did not kill Solange. I practiced on her, an operation which prompted her premature death.
Oh.
I am the only one responsible, and that makes me guilty in the face of justice. Therefore, I will say, yes, give me 25 years.
Yeah, which would make him eligible for parole in 5 years. And, he'd already done one prison sentence and had come out of it just as strong as ever. It didn't matter.
You'll be fine.
But that is when hero social worker Georgia Brown returned with a fucking vengeance.
Yeah. Downtown Georgia Brown. All right.
She cataloged a 277-page brief outlining 84 extraordinarily violent crimes committed by Roch over a period of 11 hellacious years. And those were just the crimes that his followers remembered.
Yeah.
Based on Georgia Brown's brief, Roch Thériault was sentenced to life in prison with no parole, proving that one person can certainly make a difference.
Yay! Is Georgia Brown still alive today?
No,
From what I've
unfortunately.
heard, she took her life several years ago.
Oh, she did?
Yes, she did. And she actually felt this was one of those stories, I guess, that apparently hurt her specifically because of what she saw, the amount of brutality that she saw.
I can't even imagine.
She never really recovered from it, apparently. And it's just more again, which also weird because we got social workers were reaching out to us saying about how social workers, even though we joked about how they get too much credit, the truth is that
I didn't joke about that.
No, we sarcastically said that they don't they get too much credit.
They don't get enough credit.
They absolutely
not at all.
don't. And Georgia Brown was the saving grace here because I don't know what the fuck is going on up there. I don't know why they were so lenient on him. They were leaning on him again and again and again. Partially, it seemed to have to do a little bit with this weird racial insensitivity about French
Don't be against
relations, like this type of thing where they didn't want to say, oh, just because he is a rustic.
Well, we've seen that here in this country, too. I mean, Samuel Little, I think there's a reason it took so long to get him because the less dead, we talk about that all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Well, unbelievable.
Oh,
so that's the anthill kids.
Not the end.
We're not done yet. Okay, great. Okay. I hope it. Okay.
Well, as far as the former cult members went, most of them went underground, but some spoke publicly. Gabrielle has been the most vocal, writing a book about her experiences that has unfortunately never been translated to English. Most of the rest have just tried to forget about it. and some tried regaining custody of the kids they'd lost. But 3 followers of Roch Thériault never left his side. Francine Laflamme, Nicole Ruel, and Chantal Labrie, 3 of the 5 original disciples who began following Roch in the late 70s, remained loyal followers until the end. When Roch was transferred to Millhaven Penitentiary in 1992, the 3 followers opened a bakery nearby called La Petite Bécarie.
No.
And good reviews. Up until a local newspaper figured out who they were, and business kind of dried up.
Yeah. Well,
Especially because you knew
how
that
many people can...
the bakery kitchen was used for amateur surgery too much for me to like a scone from there.
And you know what? At the end of the day, a lot of people can bake bread. And even if it is
Look at
slightly
the
worse...
quarantine. Everybody's doing it.
Francine even became Roch's press agent for a time and had business cards printed up identifying her as Roch's exclusive representation. As far as Roch's crimes went, Roch's remaining followers had justification for all of his bad behavior. They said that because of his stomach ailment, he'd fall into a semi-coma after a big meal and then would turn to alcohol to escape the suffering. But because of the dumping syndrome, the alcohol would go directly into his bloodstream and cause a chemical reaction, which would unleash the violence. So it wasn't his fault at all.
I don't know.
No.
I think it is.
Absolutely no.
Yeah, maybe just stop having big meals. Have a bunch of small meals throughout the day. That's healthier.
That's what they say that a lot. Nutritionists say that quite a bit.
don't know.
Have nuts.
Yeah.
It's better to have little bits of nuts and a little salad.
Everyone should take their nutritional advice from us. A vampire, a Sasquatch, and it's someone that we just discovered in a sewer.
And then you're only supposed to eat a fistful amount of pasta.
Yeah,
so
is that
imagine
right? Thank you.
So how I think about it is when I'm about to eat pasta, I imagine, can I cram a fist load of this pasta inside of me? And just that's how I know.
Great.
I've had enough.
Fistful, but my fist is so much larger than yours.
Mine's
is it
even
proportional?
bigger than that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
We're not doing No, we are
It
worse.
better be.
We are worse nutritionists than Roch is a doctor.
I would rather
So I
have-
don't think that we need to talk
Because
about
I
nutrition.
definitely rather have a Kissel fistful.
Yeah, of course.
I'll give you
I
a
usually have a
fistful.
Kissel fistful.
I'll give both of you a fistful. All right.
Well, even after Roch was in prison, each of these 3 followers, they only answered to the biblical names Roch gave them in 1978. Ruth, Deborah, and of course, Hogla.
Yeah. Sounds like 3 ugly sisters from a sitcom.
I don't know, man. All right. Hogla stayed?
Hogla stayed and specifically requested that everyone call her Hogla.
Sure.
It might have been Hogley.
I don't know.
I don't know. As far as what happened to Roch Thériault, he was transferred to Dorchester Penitentiary in the year 2000. And 11 years later, a cellmate named Matthew McDonald stuck a shiv in his neck, unceremoniously ending the life of the cruelest cult leader in modern history.
How freaking annoying would it be to be a celly with Roch?
Fucking
Of course he got stabbed by a celly.
Well, then
of course.
He ceremoniously, before he was murdered, he ceremoniously shaved his beard. Because he said he was ashamed of that garb of all these years. He sold stuff on auction through a black market. I sent Marcus one that was he carved a statue of himself drinking that sold on murderauction.com for $12,000.
It didn't sell on. It is currently up with 0 bids for $12,500.
Honestly, don't, because who gets that money?
Whoever owns it now. Yeah,
I don't know.
Whoever's selling on murder. Yeah, the murder auction.
I have a conflicted feeling about that because we do a murder podcast.
Yes.
But it seems like unless that money goes to something to help victims, I think it's a little nasty.
A lot of the times it has to now
Or at
in
least
order for
some
you to
of the money,
legally sell
at
it.
least 50-50 or something.
And then the quote from the man who murdered him, which I loved, which was, "That piece of shit is down on the range. Here's the knife. I've sliced him up." He just went up and just threw the knife at the Guardian station, and that's it.
Wow.
Unceremoniously fucking dead. Glad he's
honestly-
gone. He almost got paroled 2 times.
Yeah.
There's also the end of Savage Messiah shows the write-up that the clinical
thinking about
psychologist
it?
in 1999, they did an interview with him where he says, "You know what? I don't think anything's wrong with Roch. Roch has shown he's funny.
Yeah.
Straight up, he's funny."
Yeah, he's funny.
Funny really helps.
Like, I think he would really, like, I think he wrote, I do not see how this man would be a detriment to society in any way whatsoever. We should free this man.
Yeah, he's charming, hardworking.
There's just a lot of people in prison who need to be freed. And maybe we focus on them, not this monster.
At least now he's fucking dead.
All right, well, Roch Thériault, that is the terrible story of that man and the Anthill Kids. I'm happy that some of the people got out anyway, but holy fuck. Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Well, great job. Great research.
And
Again,
I promise next week we're doing something light.
happy 2021, everybody.
Yeah.
We got another year. We did it. We got another year under our belt, and we will be. There were some good things. Try to think about a few good things because
I've learned a lot.
Yeah, we've all learned a lot.
When this shit opens, when the business opens and all that kind of bullshit opens back up again, it's going to come down like a goddamn tidal wave. So this is a nice, for those of us that can, spend time with their families and friends and do what you can,
By July 4th, hopefully, we can have a real nice celebration time and get this shit out.
Don't put a date on it.
Well, that's what they were saying. Who knows? But anyway, everyone, thank you so much for listening. We hope you're doing all right out there. We hope you had a great holiday.
Check out all our other shows on the LPN Network. We got Page 7. We got Wizard and Bruiser, No Doubt in Space. We got Side Work. We've got Pop History. We got Wizard and the Bruiser. Did I say that?
Wizard and the Bruiser, Top Hat. You know all the shows. Kind of fun. If you
Check
want
out
to
the
listen
merch.
about sports and wrestling.
Get up on that merch.
And I want to thank, I was looking, I rarely do this, but I did look through some of the categories and some of the rankings. We're doing really well.
We're fine.
And I want to thank everybody because our shows are peppered over all these other shows. They got a lot of money and stuff, and we're just
working
doing
hard.
ourselves.
It's really just
So, thank you.
We want to, and also thank you to all the people here at LPN that's worked hard this fucking year. Travis, looking at you, looking at Fernando, looking at Mary, looking
Absolutely.
at Maddie,
Michelle
looking
and
at
Maddie.
Michelle, looking
Thank
at
you.
our crew. We have
Thank you, Joel.
we have a strong ass crew. Joel's fucking made
Rob.
Side Stories even better. Rob's been crushing it. Just want to say thank you to all those guys, and we're doing our
Tom
best.
Neely, fantastic relationship with him.
Honestly, we're trying to keep our shit legit.
Yeah, we
we're
got a good
staying
crew.
legit. 2021, we're doing the show for another fucking 10 years. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Let's not go.
I want to do it for
crazy.
another 10 years.
Well, let's
These
just.
shows are just going to get longer and darker.
Actually, this is the longest episode. I think this is the longest episode we've ever recorded.
Jesus Christ.
We better
think
wrap
so.
it up then.
I think I'm
We
doing
better end her then.
Yeah.
All right.
It's always the cult ones.
Yeah, there's something about the cult. There's so many working pieces.
Yeah.
And so much
So many
trauma to get
characters.
through.
So
Yeah.
much trauma.
So, all right, everyone. Hail yourselves.
Hail Satan.
Oh, Helgeen.
Magustalations, everybody. Really, Magustalations.
Hail me.
And don't trust anyone who says that they're a doctor, but that's not.
You need a stethoscope.
Well, and more than that, and a doctor's office.
Yeah.
I stethoscope, but he's going to get me.
I'll get a stethoscope.
This show is made possible by listeners like you. Thanks to our ad sponsors, you can support our shows by supporting them. For more shows like the one you just listened to, go to lastpodcastnetwork.com.